Hello, Frederick. Hello, Deej. How you doing? Welcome. Thank you guys for showing up. Hello, Cynthia, Ezra. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Great to see you. Starry. 6 in the house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count 5. Huh. Maybe they're including me. I don't know. Treasure Outdoors. How you doing? Deej had a great stream tonight. Hi, Practical Ken. Paul. Treasure Outdoors. Loved your video today. There you are, Plugs. I was first, Plugs. No, I was. So how's everybody doing tonight? Oh, been a long day for me. Who's me? You found us, Austin and Plugs. Well, Cynthia, Plugsy's never lost. Everybody tells him where to go. Marty, how you doing? Good to see you here. Juice. 8th, yeah. How you doing, Juice? So, Deej, it must be a lot of fun doing a live with Jeremy. He seems like, I'd love to go texting with both of you. Let's see. So what's happening, Juice? What's going on, brother? Oh, man. Booty slap. Digger Dan, welcome. The Clad King is here. Oh, man. It's just been one of them days here. It was so windy and cold, it just wasn't even worth trying to go outside. So did anybody get out today and hunt? I know Juice did. And Paul probably did. I know Dan did. Go ahead and come up, Juice. Plugs wants to see your shiner. I don't think it's that bad, Plugs, but couldn't see his war. Oh, Danny boy. You stopped and went back to fix a plugged drain? How close were you getting to where you were going to detect? You couldn't have went and done it for a few minutes, then went back? Oh, sorry to hear that, Marty. You usually pull up something really nice. Yeah, I remember that, Deej. So sorry. We just lost one of our old kitties here. Sonny, old boy that had kidney problems. Nathan, how you doing? Good to see you here, brother. I know you're not getting out anywhere in Montana or Washington for that Better, probably. Yeah, I saw that, Plugs. That was really something. Your neighbor had it. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. I'm gonna miss the old boy. Every time I tried to go in to get something in the kitchen, he was right there trying to get food from me. And my pop used to say, look at me, he goes, just remember, ain't nobody getting out of this world alive. So cold and snowy. That's what I figured. That's Montana. Bill and Squeak, how you doing? Good to see you here. Oh, damn. Ouch. Yeah, we got a 2-story house and we got a bunch of little kittens running around here that haven't been adopted out yet. And they can fit through the railings in the staircase. And a few of them have fallen off there, but so far nothing's broken. Bill and Squeak isn't oh, come on, brain. Swifty doing a stream or did he already do it? Donald could have used a map to get here. Let me guess. YouTube fired up their end and didn't explain. Okay, gotcha. Ooh, good. Didn't see one, huh? Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, I was not prepared at all for tonight. I darn near forgot to start the stream. Like, whoa. Dan, I would, but it won't let me at this end. Only kidding. Well, welcome, Donald. You're a new name to me, so. Are you Detectorist? Coin Roll Hunter? No, Pugsy, just tired. I've been up since like 3 this morning. Oh, excuse me. Dang. And coffee, unfortunately, does not keep me awake. Like I said, Donald, you're new here. Are you still here? Blackbird, how you doing? Hey, wait a minute. You're new. That's what I thought. You're new, Donald. Are you Detectorist? Can anybody else hear me, or is it just Donald? Can you guys hear me? Sounds good there. Okay. Sorry, Donald. Hearing me fine. Thank you. Thank you. Too many buttons. Yeah, I can understand that. I just got new software. Thank you, Marty. to do screen capture, so I don't have to use my camera to do the shout out videos and stuff anymore. My new show, Bizarre, Strange, and Unknown Metal Detecting Finds. And I've been messing with it for a week and could not get it to work right. And I thought, man, what is wrong with the software? There's nothing wrong with the software. It's like, you know, they always say if all else fails, read the manual, read the instructions. Well, I didn't know it shows when it first comes up mode. But you come back to that page and hit that mode. There's another place you go to open the first mode, then come back. What I was trying to do, I'd have 4 windows open. I was trying to record all 4 at one time. Oops. Who did I miss? Who's in here that I missed? Jersey Ray, Rachel, how you doing? Thanks for showing up. So yeah, learning new software can be real fun, especially when you're technically challenged like I am. If I had a gas motor on the end of it, that's no problem. When it comes to the electrical stuff, as far as TI or IT, not so much anymore. Used to do it years ago when it first came out and had no problem, but then got away from it. I got to remember your live stream tomorrow night, Jersey Ray. There's so many people doing live streams now. You know, just like year and a half ago, it was just a few people. Now everybody's doing it. It's hard to remember who's doing what when. Live streams and premieres and good old YouTube doesn't help when you click on the set the reminder and it doesn't let you know until an hour after it's already been there and gone. Yeah, Cynthia, that's important to spend that time with your dad. I think she understands completely. Live stream mania. Oh yeah. Well, I think what it is everybody's finding out how much hourly watch you can get doing live streams. So it builds up your time a lot quicker. And congrats, Plugs. I know you're got monetized. That's awesome. Yeah, live streams are the best use. I love them. I love watching the live digs, live streams, all of it. Excuse me. I remember that digging of sweet to frying turkeys. I watched that. Enton Beach, welcome. Thank you for showing up for the stream, and thank you again for the stickers. One of these days, I got to get stickers made. I just got to do it. I don't know why I haven't gotten around to it. Cynthia, have you heard from Tommy? I got nothing on him today. Yeah, Dan, that is what Juice does is the head-to-head challenge. That's really good. What? Get bibs, Bill. We all can use. I don't understand, Plugs. Oh, you haven't, Cynthia? I thought it was strange you doing 2 or 3 videos a day, then all of a sudden, boom, nothing. That's pretty good, Bill. Try Sticker Mule. Yeah, that or oh, what is it? Spring. Used to be Teespring. They're doing stickers now, so you can order all the stuff on your shirts and all that, and then get some stickers through them and at a pretty low cost, or nothing for some samples. Jason, how you doing? BC Treasure Trails is in the house. Excuse me. Yeah, I know he does, Bill. And for those, so that everybody doesn't forget, old Park Rat's doing his Advent giveaway again this year. So every day he's putting out giving away stuff and putting out a video. Go watch. Oh. But I think about getting them stickers done and then just never get around to it. It's like, it's just one of them things. I just never, it's kind of like the honeydew list. Never put off till tomorrow. You can put off till next year. But I'm not saying I procrastinate, but oh, cool, Bill. Oh yeah, no, this hot sauce stuff is funny. There's a good one today. He's going, huh? And all of a sudden, the look on his face, like, no, it isn't that great. He's smart enough to have bread handy that he can eat and get rid of some of the heat. Yeah, I'm with you, Cindy. That's what I love finding crap. Well, like I said, at one time I was going to change my channel name from Papa Rasmus in the Dirt to Clad and Crap Metal Detecting. Back home I might get 3 or 4 decent, vintage finds or antiques or whatever in a year, and the rest is Clad and Crap. Yeah, if anybody ever tells me they don't dig up can saw pull tabs or bottle caps, and I'm going to let him go, then you ain't metal detecting. Because I don't care even if you're only digging the good signals. So many different detectors will pick up a rusted bottle cap as a quarter. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's not he says he's fine, but I got a feeling at the end of this build that he's going to be hurting pretty bad. Doesn't take much of that hot sauce, especially as you get older. If you can't handle it all that well, that'll tear you up after a while. Markaroos. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Oh God, more counterfeits, huh? Wow. Did you find anything detecting? How you doing? I like that, the Markaroos. That's got a nice ring to it. Okay, Jason. Oh man, I tell you, I don't get it tonight. Whew. Oh. So Cynthia, when are you going to start doing metal detecting videos? We all want to see it. We all want to see videos from you. We do. And there goes Mark. Johnny Smallpepper, how you doing? Here's another man with a cast iron stomach. Well, then get up here, Plugs. Frederick Romano, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Oh. All right, Bill's coming up. How you doing, Bill?
What's up, buddy?
Not much. How you doing?
Oh, man, just tired. I've been doing Christmas cards all evening. Squeak's over here stealing my sausage and cheese.
Yeah, I'm with Deeds this year. I'm not doing Christmas cards. Just too much going on.
We've been working so much here lately. We haven't had time to do much of anything. But Squeak's like, we got to do cards, so we got some. We're a little late, but better late than never.
Yeah. But so you dug up some more counterfeits, huh?
Yeah, pulled up a misstruck Largie. You can see where they went to strike it and missed probably about quarter of an inch off, and then found another half cent, counterfeit half cent. And we've found about 6 or 8 of those at this place. It was a tavern site in the 1700s through the 1800s, and one of the brothers that owned this place was hung for counterfeiting. So we've been really taking our time out there and going real slow.
Yeah, that's interesting. Finding counterfeit coins at an old tavern where the guy that owned, one of the owners, was hung for counterfeiting,
especially pennies. Now here tell stories. They had also tried counterfeiting the eagles, and it didn't go over too well. And I think that's how he got caught. But it's actually on the public records that he was caught counterfeiting gold coins.
Yeah, so, that would do it.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping to find one of those eagles that he messed up on and put that back on the display shelf here. I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And the pennies, I could see him getting away with because, they just look the other way. But when you start messing with the gold and the silver back then, and because you think about what a penny was worth back then compared now, that was some money. But then a $20 gold piece was really something to.
Yeah. We 2 of the counterfeits we found were brass large cents, early large cents. And buddy of ours tested, and he's like, it's brass. That's not copper. That's brass. We were like, that is awesome, man. Probably not for the person who ended up with it in their pocket, but for us, it was really cool.
Yeah. I'd love to find a counterfeit coin. I mean,
yeah. And we didn't know what we were finding when we first stumbled on this place. It was, this one looks really weird. We're going to have to show a buddy of ours. And, a couple months later, we finally got up with him. We're like, hey, man, take a look at this. And he goes, holy crap, that's counterfeit, man. It's like, why in the hell would somebody counterfeit a penny? And then we're thinking, 1700s, early 1800s. That was a lot of money.
Yeah, it went a long ways. Yeah. People don't realize. I mean, even back when I was a kid, a penny was worth a heck of a lot more than it is now. So, I mean, I could buy a candy bar for a nickel when I was a kid.
Yeah. I'm broke. I have 0 cents, and I found 2 cents besides my sister's car today.
2 pennies for a 10-year-old goes a long way.
Yep.
I thought someone threw pennies on our lawn because there's like 4 pennies. And I gave the other ones to my sister.
When in actuality, it's crap clad that we've dug that they knock out of my truck when they get out of it.
No, it was actually.
So what's been going on, Bill?
Not
Hey,
much.
Patty.
The weather here has just been terrible.
If anybody is saying hi to us in chat, we're not ignoring you. We suck at reading, talking, and looking at the same time.
Yeah.
So we'll get up
Us
to
guys named Bill are like that. We can do 2 things at once. Doing 3 things at once doesn't work very good.
Usually Squeak is my reader, but she's stuffing her face with my cheese and sausage. I love summer sausage. And this is the main time of year that we find it. And every time I break it out, she ends up swiping half of it. And all my Grey Poupon. You remember them old Grey Poupon commercials? 2 Bentleys pull up beside each other?
Hey, Uncle Juice.
Oh, Mary. Who else? Patty, how you doing? Welcome. Who else has wandered in? I think that's it so far. Milton Detecting NC.
Hey,
How you
buddy.
doing? That was a great find going in this Sunday show, NC. That's another thing for anybody in here that's got clips of something bizarre, strange, or unusual that they found. I'm doing my new show on Sundays. Send me a clip and I'll put it in the show. A few people have sent me stuff hoping they can figure out what it is.
Yeah, Sundays is usually my one day off. So we try to make it to church. If we can't make it to church, we at least try to get out metal detector
You
just for
never
a
make
little
it to
bit.
church because you're always busy watching.
Yeah, or I get caught up in live streams and lose track of time. And,
Where all the sausage go?
It's right there.
Oh, mine's a premieres at 4 o'clock. It's just usually 8 to 10 minutes long. Been gone. But have found some interesting stuff. One guy, my last one, some guy dug up a little clay pot. Turned out to be an urn with ashes in it and about 6 women's bracelets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
We've dug up some creepy stuff, man. I mean, we went to the beach. We hardly ever beach hunt. I mean, it's like 3 hours away, and I hate the beach because people pay me not to wear a Speedo. And we went out there and we were digging up some tokens and stuff like that, and I pulled up a button, and it had a woman's picture on it. I'm like, oh, maybe it's a bachelorette party or something like that. And we went to a 36th Street Cafe to get lunch, and I showed the waitress there. She's really pro detectorist. She loves the detectors that come in there, and she goes, oh yeah, that was a memorial service they had right here on the beach last week. I'm like, holy crap, man! Let's return this to where it was.
That just happened to Tommy at River Sticks. He's out on the beach doing a live show, and he pulled up this aluminum round disc. He goes, "What is this?" He turned it over. It was a crematorium tag. And he goes, "Put that back." So he just dug up somebody's ashes, Tommy.
Oh man. Yeah, that's one of my big fears for beach hunting is finding something like that. I just, what do you do? I mean, you put it back or you.
I just put it back right where I found it. That's what I think the best one I saw was, I don't know if you ever saw Rob at Florida Thunder when they dug up a steel box in a yard. I think they found a treasure box and somebody cremated their dog and buried it in the backyard.
Buddy, I have the worst one of them. We detected it was 2 ladies that were mentally ill. They were crazy as owls. And we were detecting where they had burnt down the rental house they were in, which belonged to a buddy of ours. And got a nice silver signal. Went to popped my plug, man, and went right through the top of a Tupperware bucket that they had buried a cat in that was in a Catholic kids choir robe and had a rosary wrapped around it. And the rosary is what picked up on the detector. And I'm going to tell you what, man, that thing went everywhere. And the property owner thought it was funny as hell. He's laughing at us. He goes, "Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you, they used to bury cats up and down in here." And it's like, thanks, buddy. You know, we're going to move on to the other side of the property.
I mean, bad enough one, but he said they used to bury cats up here. That means there's more. It's time to
go. Many more. Yeah, Squeak freaked. She was like, "What is that?" And then the smell hit her, and she turned around, and it was butthole and shoe sole all the way back to the truck.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was one of the worst things we had ever dug up.
Hi, Ray. I just saw something for free. Oh, Quarter Hoarder found a witch's jar a few years back. So did Deej, and Deej started having bad luck after she dug hers up.
I remember when Jason found his.
Yeah.
That was kind of creepy. I didn't know Deej found one too.
Yeah, Deej found one and opened it up, and she took it back to where she found it. So
I'm gonna tell you what, buddy. We're from South Louisiana. I mean, we are firm believers in hoodoo, voodoo, and leave it right where you found it, and do not touch it.
Yep. Yeah, people don't understand. They hear hoodoo and they think it's something else. Like, no, there's voodoo and there's hoodoo.
It's hoodoo. All in what you make it.
Yeah. But yeah, I worked years back in a restaurant with a girl that came from Louisiana, and she was a hoodoo priestess.
Mm-hmm.
And she can get real creepy at times.
Yeah. Yeah. They have their own little world, their own little everything. Yeah. Hey, Idaho Dirt Digger.
AZ Mort, welcome. Idaho Dirt Digger, welcome. 21 in the house. Thank you, people. Great find. How you doing? Yeah. Yeah, so far I haven't found any counterfeit coins or anything of witchcraft or anything like that. I'm hoping to. I mean, I'd like to find some stuff like that. Yeah.
Where are you at, Bill?
Well, right now I'm in Tennessee, Clarksville.
Okay. That's right. I don't know if you had started to move yet or not.
I've been there once and I love it and I want to live there.
They went to Pigeon Forge and chased black bears.
Yeah, they hunting, except on private property, is totally illegal here, like where you're at. The only difference is, and it's probably the same there, is Army Corps of Engineer beaches. It's a lake built by the Corps of Engineers. You can do the beach. No other part of it, but you can do the beach. So
I wish I've been petitioning several counties to do the old parks. Here in Central Virginia, man, you can actually catch a felony for digging city and state property here.
Same
and that includes curb strips.
Yep.
And we've actually had a couple buddies that got hemmed up with that. They got permissions to do a couple yards here in Richmond City and started doing the curb strip out there. And unfortunately, that's city property. You can't even plant flowers around your mailbox without going through the city planning board for that. And they got to approve it. So, I mean, it's nasty here as far as, trying to detect. And I mean, I guess our saving grace, we don't really Civil War hunt, even though that's really big here in Central Virginia. We don't have the permissions. We're not part of that crowd. And, that group is really kind of bonded together. And if you're an outsider, they're real hesitant on letting new people in. Because, I mean, people come in, find a couple good things, come back at night and steal their crap.
We have one Civil War property.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know it was Civil War.
Yeah, that was a mistake. A friend of ours said, come dig some coins in her yard. And we ended up finding a Confederate picket camp in her side yard.
I'm out of the camera because I'm cutting stuff.
Okay, Grapevine said he thought there was a permit you could get to detect in Virginia.
Some places I've heard that there is. Here in Richmond, Henrico, Chesterfield, Hanover, there's not. You have to stick with private property.
Hey, Marcus says I was in Tennessee for about 15 minutes back in the 80s. It was a wonderful D. It was the longest 15 minutes of your life, wasn't it, Marcus? Yeah, between that and I'm not used to the Midwest Southern humidity. Man.
I'll tell you what, Virginia was cooking this past summer. I don't think I have ever seen it as humid here as it was this past summer.
Yeah.
It reminded me of being back home.
I mean,
It was
back,
hot.
God, it was 78 or 70. No, that'd be earlier than that because I just got out of the Corps. But my brother was living in Fayetteville, Georgia, working for Owens Corning. He goes, hey, I can get you a summer job out here. So I went out and ran a forklift for the summer. Freaking hot, humid place. Damn, I hated it there.
And the smell coming off the forklift on top of it.
Yeah. But, it's like, of course, then we rented an 8-bedroom house for like $150 a month back then.
Oh, wow.
The rent was nothing,
Mm.
But it was just, and of course, it was an old house, no AC or nothing. So, man, you was always looking for a shady spot to drink cold beer.
We grew up in a fish camp down in South Louisiana, just south of Acadiana. And I remember during the summer, my dad put this great big attic fan up in the attic. That thing had to have been 4.5, maybe 5 foot tall. And he'd cut that thing on blowing out, and he'd open the doors and the windows downstairs. And if you didn't have your stuff put away, man, the side of the house looked like confetti. All the papers blowing out and getting chopped up by the thing. That was our snowfall.
Well, it's like there's a YouTube channel called Wonder Hussy. She lives in Vegas, or she did, but she bought I forget where it is, just outside of Vegas, about 45 minutes in Death Valley. She bought a place out there, her and her sister. Well, this house has a swamp cooler. Well, apparently the woman that owned it didn't know how to run it, sold it to them. They'd never used one before, and they're going, it's only 2 degrees difference in here than outside. So they're walking around the house, and everybody's going, okay, when you run a swamp cooler at the opposite end of the house, you got to crack a window open so you get airflow. It's not like an AC where you go, And all of a sudden they're going, wow, that works a lot better. But for like 2 weeks, they were just sweltering in that house.
Oh, man. And all they were doing was moving that indoor humidity around.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I missed that big attic fan. You couldn't hear anything for about 20 yards on any side of the house when that sucker cut on. But, man, you want to talk about cool air.
Yep. Works real good.
So what do you got coming up, Bill? Anything?
No, not right yet. I'm 60 miles from here, 65. Can't remember the name of the lake, but they've got one of those beaches I can get to. I have done a couple farms around here, but for supposedly being a Civil War area, this whole area sits down in a basin, and apparently it flooded really bad a few years back. And I know they flooded a couple times downtown Clarksville this year. And it's like, all I found is Kansaw.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried to hit some flooded cornfields where we know there was skirmishes along the James River, and we got permission on the property, but every year it floods. And a buddy of ours finally told us, he said, man, you got to remember, every time it floods, you end up with about 6 or 8 inches of silt. So you're looking for relics and artifacts that are probably 2 and 3 foot deep at this point.
Yeah.
Plus all the trash from the floods. I mean, the James River is a nasty river as it is.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those. If they plow it, we'll try it again. But they don't really plow around here anymore. They just disc. So it's kind of a moot point. It'd be really cool to find some stuff.
Yeah, that's what I've run into here, Nomad. where I go, it's just cancel, whether it's at a house, in a farm field. And that's when somebody told me, well, it flooded really bad a few years back, and we do get floods. I went, oh, that makes sense. We're in a basin, so everything washes in here, you know. It's like,
Yeah, that's like out where Swifty lives. He over in Nelson County, Virginia, it flooded during Hurricane Camille, and I mean, Davis Creek was under like 80 feet of water,
oh,
and I mean, it washed out everything over there. But they can't. They said, you know, there was several hundred homes that were washed out, and they haven't found most of the homes, but you know, there were Civil War camps, there were, you know, stops and all that just got washed right on, and nobody can find them now.
damn. Mother Nature can be a beach, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a shame because that's a lot of history that just literally washed away.
Right, yeah. You know, that's what I just don't understand their logic here about no metal detecting, you know.
We have a lot of battlefields here. I mean, we got the Richmond battlefield, Petersburg battlefield, quite a few in Hanover. And, you know, we've talked to, you know, several generations. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, if I said there were 3,000 metal detectors just within 60 miles of us, I would probably be underestimating. I mean, there is a lot. And most of them hunt Civil War. And, you know, they talk about their granddaddies just walking through cornfields, picking up a musket, you know, and all that, you know, during those times. But I think the battlefield has just got overrun with people sneaking in and whatnot. And they knocked it all out. Every once in a while, you get somebody that thinks they're inventive and go out there, and they don't realize the security measures these battlefields have.
Yeah.
I mean, they are watching 24 hours a day. We had a couple guys at a hunt club that, you know, they were doing finds of the month, and these guys were bringing in pristine buckles and, you know, shoulder plates, box plates, and all that. And a couple months later, we see all three of them got popped on felonies for sneaking out in Richmond battlefield. They were actually caught because they were running a pinpointer in one of their boots, and every time they would get near a signal, they GPS it on their phone. Park rangers sitting there watching them do it and just recording it, videoing them doing it, and just waiting.
Oh, ouch.
But yeah, we're getting ready to do Florida Hunt 8 coming up in February.
Yeah.
It's the biggest event we will have ever been to. I think Cynthia's going. There's a bunch of people going. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, a bunch of people. I remember Park Rat saying, and he might just go there for the meet and greet and go do something else, because I guess apparently last year not too many people found much stuff.
Well, this year Greg is doing something awesome. I think it's the first time he's done it. He's going to do a seeded hunt as well on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, Squeak's looking forward to that. I mean, it's 1,000 acres. You know, we're going to pretty much be staying with Deli and Shelly and Dawn. Dawn and Shelly. During the weekend down there, and
Audra.
And so we're gonna be kind of laying low. We're gonna go to the meet and greet and, you know, a couple little after party dinners, but, you know, 10-year-old and old fat man, we ain't trying to.
We have a whole lake in our backyard.
Yeah, there's a lake behind the rental we're gonna be. So yeah, we'll be fishing as well. Yeah, I think Pat and Rob Clark said they're going to try to go over for the meet and greet and hang out there for a bit. And, so that'll be pretty fun. We're excited about it.
I see Rob got his another award this year.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, that was an awesome award, man. That's a pound of copper. A pound of copper. And I want to say the front was a Morgan. Is that what it was on the front? Was a Morgan?
I don't remember.
That was awesome. And on the back, they engraved his name on it.
Yeah. So
have a good one, Patty. And then after that, we're looking at doing Come Out Swinging up in Pennsylvania. Chris Altman, who wrote From the Ground Up and From the Ground Up 2, he's been a big supporter of ours. He has jumped on the Squeak train and really, really put us out there. Put us in his book From the Ground Up 2. He sponsors. He's one of the sponsors for Come Out Swinging. So he's going to get us in there, and we're going to make our way up there and hang out. That's going to be in the spring. So that we're looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to be hitting some of these big events, man. Some of them are just so daggone expensive. We just can't even look at them. The one coming up in, I think, North Carolina, I think that one's $400.
Ooh.
Was it Dickstock Mini or something like that, I think, or something else. But yeah, it's, we can't afford something like that. We'd love to. We really love to, but.
Good night, Rachel. Looking forward to is next year, hopefully getting back to California or Nevada, someplace where it's drier. But I've got maps of where all the old stage stops were for Wells Fargo.
Oh, wow.
And in the county I lived in, the one below it, there had been 7 stage robberies they never recovered the gold from.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
They were all minted, all coins, $20 denominations, either out of Carson City or San Francisco.
Man.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That's like a treasure hunt, literally.
Yeah. Because I remember a few years back, there's California relic hunters. They got permission to do a big ranch up next county over from where I was at, and there'd been an old Wells Fargo stage stop on it. And about 100 yards from the stage stop, and it was 9 o'clock at night, they had their lights on, got a signal, pulled up a $5 gold piece. A few minutes later, pulled up a 20, then he pulled up another 20.
Man.
So 3 gold coins within, they're probably within 10 feet of each other.
There's got to be more. I mean, one gold coin out in the middle of a cornfield is one thing, but you find 3 in an area, there's something there. There's, that's just what I would think. I'd be getting a backhoe out there and start sifting quick.
It's like the town just south where I lived, east of it was another town, and it's still just an old goat trail basically coming down the mountainside. And 3 brothers robbed a stage. I think it was, for the time, it was like $250,000 in $20 gold coins, which they never recovered. They caught the guys within an hour after they robbed it, but they didn't have the coins, and they wouldn't tell them where they were, and they never recovered them.
It ain't far. If it's just an hour after it.
Yeah, and plus they were on horseback, so they didn't get far in an hour.
Yeah.
The problem was right where they robbed the stage, then you go out and there's 3 other roads. They go out and come back to the next town over is where they caught them. So they had 3 different roads they could go down. But still, it's a small area because they couldn't have got far off the road to bury it. Then get back.
They had to look for some kind of marker. There'd have been something, some kind of marker, a rock or some out of the way thing sitting there.
Yeah. So that's never been found.
I've talked to a couple people that have tried the Jesse James trails and trying to decipher. Because if you ever studied up on Jesse James, they actually had their own written code that they would use, and they would mark trees and paper and stuff like that. And I've talked to a couple of people that have spent several decades trying to find those old trails, and there were so many false trails. They said it was unreal. But if you're going to have a pursuit, why not? That's a worthy goal to try to do.
Yeah. I can't remember. There was a guy lived in Placerville, California, an old treasure hunter, and he had found a couple old stashes. Didn't tell me where it was at, but when he died, there was just a lot of gold and silver coins in this place. But he said he found them. And most of the townspeople believed him because he had money. A lot of people did. But he supposedly he was really good at being able to find where people hid stuff. And I know
I'm gonna tell you though, you know, some of these go find it's are getting pretty interesting. I mean, you have the YouTuber who supposedly found the M-shaped cave a couple weeks ago, and YouTube his start trying to find it again. People have talked him into it, and then he disappears. And his girlfriend put out a missing person. They've tried finding this guy with several search parties. Aqua Chiggers was out there for like a week or two trying to find. And, you know, just you're in a place that, you know, he supposedly knew it really well. Him and his girlfriend went hiking out there all the time. But, I mean, sometimes you just be careful what you wish for.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you get out where there's no people out in the wilderness, and there's just all kinds of things can happen.
Well, his girlfriend put out a thing I was reading that said she believes that he actually committed suicide. He was very depressed, and people didn't realize that, you know, just watching his YouTube stuff. And she thinks he's at the bottom of this well that he was YouTubing himself in front of. They never searched all the way down. They don't even know how far down that well goes. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff with this one. I mean, there's a few people that are packing up, heading out there and trying to look now. And like I said, I know Aqua Chigger's been doing it. Don't know what he ended up finding at the end there, but
yeah.
But he's definitely a cave hunter. Have a good one, Ray.
Good night, Ray. No, there's still lots of treasure out there that people haven't found. I want to go search for.
I mean, it was just 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago that oh man, his name just went right out of my head. But they were finding all the 50-cent pieces under this old barn, and they ended up bringing a backhoe out there. And I mean, they made Plugmaster. I think Plugmaster was involved in it. Thousands of 50-cent pieces.
Wow.
Buried under this old barn. And that was pretty awesome. I mean, seeing things like that, I mean, it just motivates you to want to go out more. I mean, I hated fields until I found that Virginia halfpenny and did the backstory on Virginia halfpennies. And come to find out the land we were on was actually owned by the governor of Virginia, who was involved in a scandal. Because those casks of halfpennies sat on a ship in New York Harbor for like 2 years before they were distributed. They were minted in 73, and they weren't distributed until late 75. And so, you know, the big myth of, you know, where's this extra cask of halfpennies and all that. I mean, we tried to find it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess somebody not too long ago when, what was it? It's truck loaded with pennies turned over next to a river, but a lot of it ended up on a guy's farm.
Mm-hmm.
And they got most of it except for something like 150,000 pennies they never found.
Something like that, yeah.
Went out like long ago and started finding them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, they had that armored car lose its bag last week before, out on a freeway, and people were stopping and collecting money, and you know, the state starts charging. I'm like, you know what? Finders keepers, man. It blew out on the road. I'm not bashful. I'll stop and grab me a handful, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, Teresa.
Hello, Teresa. But, yeah, so this stuff's or like, I did a series of last year when I was back in California, out in the middle of the woods, just on the side of a hill. I don't know whether maybe somebody got robbed and somebody dumped out there, but I just started finding change in this 10-foot area.
Mm.
And I got over 300 coins in one spot, about 10 feet long by 8 feet wide. It's like, what the heck?
Wow.
And the only other thing I found was it was like a library card, and it looked like some discount cars, something, but they were so wiped they couldn't tell. But it was buried with that stuff, but nothing else. So it's like, okay, you'd almost think that somebody dumped a purse there, but just 3 cards and all the rest changed. That
yeah, we have one spot we call the jewelry tree, and somebody buried an old jewelry box under this tree, and it between the 60s and 80s, 1960s, 1980s. And we were finding French coins. I found a gold class ring from 71. Squeak found a couple of necklaces. We found a couple other rings, and then we found the 2 hinges. So it was a wooden box. That somebody just buried, and the wood just rotted away. But yeah, we found that stuff scattered all over in there, and we picked it clean. And unfortunately, it was only about 50 yards away from the cat graveyard.
I know it's supposed to be in bed, but at that jewelry store, I still never found a non-seeded or ring fine ring, and I was upset. Good night.
She is determined. She has yet to find a ring that isn't a ring find or from a seeded hunt. I mean, she's found several ring find rings, which I'm like, those count. I mean, that's a cool thing. You help somebody out, and she goes, "No, I'm going to find one I can keep." 6 trips to the beach.
Still no. He's always done it to me, and I'm still mad at him because he found one laying in the parking lot, and it's real diamond and ruby.
I walked across the parking lot where I'm assigned to, and saw something shining. I said, "Man, some kid lost their bling the other day," and picked it up. And it wasn't bling. It's sterling silver, and it's got an actual ruby, big ruby in it, and 12 diamond chips in it. And took it to a buddy of ours, and he said, "Yeah, that's old. It's vintage." So yeah. I was happy about that, and she's still mad at me over that one.
And then he found a necklace.
And then the earring. Then I found a gold earring.
I found a toe ring with a little dove on it. 95 silver laying in the parking lot, coming out of a cigarette store. I looked down at it. First, I thought it was like an O-ring or something. Or not an O-ring, but a keychain ring.
Mm-hmm.
Then
I put my glass on it. No, that's a ring.
I'm going to tell you, one of our favorite things to find, and a lot of people laugh at us for it, but we love finding the old copper and brass rings from the old farm boys in like the 1800s. Mm-hmm. They would get cheated out by these, by the salesman that would, paint it gold, stamp it, 14K and, whatever they did. And they would, pass it off as real gold. And these farm boys would take everything they have to buy one of these rings for their sweethearts. And by the time we find them now, it's a copper ring. And people are like, "Oh, it's crap." But to us, man, that's the most personal item you can find. Yeah. From any site you detect. That meant something to somebody a lot at one point. And we love them. We've probably got 15 of them sitting on the shelf. We love those things. That's our favorite things to find.
I found almost threw away because I thought it was another O-ring because it looked brass. And I just happened to be into where I buy and sell my silver back home.
Have a good night. Did you find anything?
I threw it down. The guy goes, I said, "That looks like brass to me." And he got one of the machines. He threw it in and he goes, "Nope, that's 9-karat gold." I went, "Really?" But it was so small and so light, it wouldn't even register on the scale. No. And he goes, "Infant toe ring." I went, "Okay."
Oh. And I've been told that those were a European thing. Those weren't really a U.S. thing. A lot of the immigrants would come over and have stuff like that, but that wasn't really something that they did here in the States.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whether or not that's true, I don't know, but it's...
Well, now that you say that makes sense because where I found that, not too far away, I found a lot of other items I know came out of England.
Mm.
Like one was way back in the 50s, they started making what they called Euro coin tokens.
Okay.
So
Hey,
they had vending machines, so and people were breaking the vending machines, so they sold tokens to use in them. And the tokens were are still only good for the vending machine. So if you steal them, you can't use them for anything but the vending machine. So people quit breaking into them. Found that there and a couple other things. Like, what is this stuff doing here? This on the back side of a park that nobody goes into. The only thing is there's a little town further up from it, and people that were walking would come down through there to get through the park. So it's like, okay, somebody came over here from England or visited, had lost all this stuff over the years, or what, you know?
I mean, we love finding foreign coins, man. That's another one of our favorite things to find is foreign stuff. You know, we really enjoy talking to people that are in the Midwest or farther west, and they're like, man, y'all dig up large cents and and reals, and this is stuff that we'll never find, and they're happy to find a wheat penny or an Indian head. An Indian head penny is like the holy grail in some of these places, and we're like, wow, that's man.
Well, I tell you, California's a place. Indian head pennies, no. Silver coins, yeah. Not a lot. Silver, sometimes gold. But Indian head pennies, V-nickel, stuff like that, those are rarities out there. I don't know why.
Right.
But that's like where I used to live was only 88 miles from the Carson City Mint. And it was there was 2 or 3 Wells Fargo stage lines that came from the Mint through where I lived. So I was always hoping to find anything I could with the Carson City Mint mark on it, any silver.
I have found one. I found a seeded quarter with arrows and rays, and it had the Carson City Mint on it. And I mean, a guy offered me $250 right there for it, and I'm like, dude, I've never found a seeded. That was my first seeded anything. I was like, no, I think I'm gonna keep that, man. We're gonna put it on the shelf right there.
Yeah. That's like what I'd really like to find is they minted 2 different 20-cent pieces there. The only time they made 20-cent pieces in the country, and they're both minted at Carson City.
Are those gold or silver?
Silver.
Silver?
Yeah. 1 year isn't worth a whole lot because they made 10 million of them, but the year before or after, I can't remember which, they only made 10,000 of them.
But I've never heard of them.
Yeah. They're rare. Even the ones they made a lot of are rare, but I think it doesn't. It said in pristine condition or whatever you call it, mint. They don't even have a price in there, so it's kind of like you just set whatever you want for it, if you got one. But
hey, Brewers, a lot of times when we're typing, a lot of times when we're typing, it's Squeak typing. Every once in a while, it's me. Usually it's both of us, because if I end up seeing a message or something, she pops over my shoulder, and we go back and forth like that. It gets a little confusing.
That's why I say Bill and Squeak, or Squeak and Bill, because I know you're both there.
Yeah, she loves to peek over my shoulder. And a lot of times, if we get on a live stream, or if we're watching a live stream, she'll sit on my leg and she'll either read and I'll type, or she'll type and I read, and we tag team it out quite a bit.
What are you doing, buddy?
Hey, Swifty, what's happening, brother?
Oh. You okay? Huh?
Yeah, our YouTube channel, we keep it very kid friendly. We have a lot of kids that subscribe, especially from Squeak schoolmates, and a couple of BJ's friends are subscribed on there, and we try to keep it family fun, family friendly. There's a lot of places that we can go and cut up, but our channel, we keep it pretty entertaining for everybody. We try to anyway.
Swifty.
When aren't you tasting hot sauce, Swifty?
Oh, you just finished, huh? Mark, how you doing? From Ram Detecting. That's right. These guys just did that tonight, huh?
Hey, Tony, what's going on, buddy? We are actually, Brewers, we are trying to get some better equipment. One of our biggest complaints is we do it on our phone. And even if we turn our phone sideways, it's always got the black screen on the edges and whatnot. So we're trying to get some better equipment. We're looking for an older GoPro or anything like that we can get and try to start making things better. Unfortunately, my wife had major surgery, so she's been down for a couple months now, and I've been pulling her shifts, my shifts, and we just haven't had the time to do much of anything. We are so far behind right now. We've been trying to do a mail call for 3 weeks, and the stack is like this high now. And our 500 subscriber giveaway, we wanted to do that, but then we were on several live streams that were doing giveaways for it, which was awesome, and we're very appreciative. We haven't even gotten around to ours yet, so we need to just take a day and just sit down and get this stuff done and rolling again to get back on track. Hopefully my wife will be back in the saddle next week and I can start getting some time. We're as technically inclined as Orphan Annie. I still use the Windows Photos Movie Maker on my computer. I want to try to branch out into some other stuff, but I can't even program contacts into my smartphone, so it's trial and error.
So you're looking for a new camera, huh?
Yeah, we want to, but people are like, oh, I'll get you one of the new GoPros and get you this and that. And it's like, dude, I got 5 kids and a family. I can't, we can't afford that. Something like one of those.
That's a Fuji XP. Waterproof to 60 feet. You can drop it from 6 or 7 feet. Won't hurt it. High definition,
sweet, haven't you?
And the nice thing, you ever notice most people's GoPros, the sound quality is pretty bad. These are really good. And you can pick these up. I picked this up for $45 2 years ago on eBay.
We were using the Faux Pro, which isn't a bad camera, but unfortunately, no matter what we do, the timestamp is from like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and we have changed it. We've done everything we can, and the battery lasts about 9 minutes on these, and we have 2 batteries. So, we use it when we can. Half the time, Squeak drops it out of her pouch, and we spend about an hour trying to metal detect for it out wherever we are. Hey, Pat, what's up, brother?
About 25 minutes, and they're like $5 a piece. Oh, Brad, Depth Spader, Pat, Park Rat's here. Wow. I guess everybody coming over from Swifties. Like you said, a raid.
I have yet to get a notification that Swifty had anything.
Yeah, I didn't get one either. I know they said the other night, and I thought, dang, that's the same time as my live stream.
Yeah, I have nothing. And YouTube's been doing that to us quite a bit lately. We're not getting notifications. We're not even getting notifications for subscribers.
Yeah, same here.
Anything. We're not even getting notifications for comments, which is really sad because one thing we love doing is commenting to each and every person that comments to us. You all took the time to comment to us. We want to take the time, even if it's a simple thank you. We want to do that. And it's hard when we're not getting the notification. So we're going through, videos about once a week, trying to see if anything's new. So, we try. And of course, we don't have 10,000 or 15,000 subscribers to keep up with, but, we do what we can.
Yeah, I do the same thing because I notice now it used to be just a few, but every time I get a new subscriber, I'll see their notification. I go to answer it. It's gone.
And they're gone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time now. It's like, dang it. Then I got to go hunt down their channel and let them know in one of their videos, hey, sorry, this is what happened.
One thing that we picked up on quick, and some people had messaged me and asked why we were taking their comments off, and we weren't. A lot of people leave HH for happy hunting, and unfortunately, YouTube's algorithm picks that up as like Heil Hitler or something like that, and deletes the whole comment. And we didn't know that for a while. So we actually spoke with one of the reps with YouTube, and they actually told us that's part of the protective algorithms, whatever he called it. So if people leave the HH for happy hunting, it's most likely going to get caught and deleted, and that's how quite a few of ours have been gone.
Yeah, Swifty. Even the public subscribers, it's just you gotta watch a video, leave a comment, or you'll lose them if you just sub them.
We have started where if we find out somebody subscribed, we will wait a day, and then we'll go in and subscribe. We'll also hit the bell. And a lot of times, if you hit that bell, it helps. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you've got 3 minutes to, get on real quick and check, you really don't have time to watch the whole video and leave a comment for somebody. So a lot of times we'll hit that bell and then go back, in a day or two and start catching some videos.
That works too. I notice if they've got a super long video, you don't need to watch the whole thing. It's only like 4 or 5 minutes you need to watch, and you'll stay subscribed. Otherwise, they'll delete it. What?
Yeah, Mark said he's still mad at YouTube. You lost over 100 subscribers, didn't you, Mark? Something like that. Somebody did. Somebody lost quite a few.
They shut Pat's monetization off today, and you had to go back and reactivate every video. Holy crap!
Man,
that's freaking ridiculous.
And it wasn't. You didn't have anything in there that should have done that. I mean, Pat keeps his videos clean too.
Yeah, not Pat's videos. Jeez. I don't get it, And all these other places like Odyssey and BitChute, they're still so small trying to get people to go over there to watch metal detecting videos. You can't get them to move.
See, we don't mess with anything else except YouTube, and Squeak talked me into that. And, it was kind of a back and forth for a while on whether or not I wanted to do it. And I mean, it's been fun, but it's been a lot to keep up with. And I mean, there's some nasty people out there, buddy. Especially with kids in a video, you get some real winners that'll pop up in there and leave some comments. We had a guy that tried to buy Squeak. He was offering us $10,000 US to buy my daughter, and I'm like, dude, you really have no idea.
But, bring me cash and meet me in this parking lot.
Yeah. But a lot of people like Swifty and a few others, they've gone to TikTok and done really good there, but I just don't know enough about it.
Yeah. Well, I've been on BitChute for about 2.5 years now, and I just couldn't get the views. I got Mike Davis from Cat Creek. He's been over there for a long time. He's got, I think, 1,400 subs on YouTube. He's only about 200 on BitChute, and he's been there for 2.5, 3 years.
So I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's just another video. And it's weird. It's out of England, but I still think it's part of YouTube. But because of their laws, where it's out of, it's like basically anything goes. They don't have all the same rules, even though it's in this country too. So,
hey, Gary,
when I signed up, it automatically took all my info from YouTube and right onto it.
Hey, Rob, what's up, buddy? Man, ain't it past your bedtime?
Yeah, I'm still on, Rob, because I start later now.
Yeah, Rob's gonna be tired tomorrow. It's way past his bedtime. Them Florida people go to bed early. I know you want to be in the camera. Come here. Oh, you got to be in the camera. There. Say hi to everybody. Say hi.
Hey, pup.
Say hi. Everybody's got to see you. Boy, we try to film something in the house, man. She has to be in it. She is a camera hog. All right, go away. Go bug mama.
Yeah, I got one here that's a camera hound. The other one doesn't want nothing to do with it. Oh,
Yeah, we have a zoo in our house. Snakes, cats, dog, kids. You can't turn around and step without stepping on somebody's tail in here.
Oh man. Wow.
You know, I'd love to use our dog as a co-pilot, but she's a Pyrenees, and what they normally call them is disappears. If you let them loose and they see it, it's theirs, and you will have to track them dogs down 5-6 miles before they finally want to stop. There's Rob. What's up, brother?
How we doing, guys?
Well, if I can get my dog's nose out of my armpit, be doing great.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I had a buddy come over after trivia, so we were catching up, and I was like, I'll stop in and tell Bill I couldn't make it tonight. I'm like, boom, he's still on.
Yeah. Well, I don't start too late now, Rob. We start at 7:30, but now that the 100 GT's back and his stream runs an hour, it was like we were going to overlap by half hour, so I just moved mine back a half hour.
Oh, see, originally when you changed it to 8, I thought you were actually moving it forward, not back.
No, let me ask y'all a question real quick, y'all. Something just happened on here that I've never seen before, and I'm not big into StreamYard. Everybody in the comments just had a YouTube logo pop up on their avatar.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Huh.
I've never seen that before, and we've
They did what, Bill? They got bigger?
No, on their avatar pictures, there's a YouTube logo on it.
YouTube logo.
That just appeared. I had never seen that before until just now. It caught my eye. Everybody's avatar.
It's a StreamYard thing because if I log into my regular channel, they're not there. So it's a StreamYard.
You know, like he's saying, this is the first time I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I've never
You
seen
know what it is? It's a new feature that you can click on that.
Wow.
I'm hovering over it and I'm not getting anything.
Brewers, it's only on I think it's only on the people in StreamYard on the stream. If you're on your regular YouTube channel, it's not going to show up.
Huh. That's weird. Yeah, it just popped up. I just noticed it just now.
Yeah, it's on my StreamYard page, but if I look at my regular page, it's not there.
I'm wondering if it's YouTube channels.
Eaton Beach, hello. Ram detecting. I am 37 away. I have a killer giveaway going on. Relic Reaper. Hey, Don.
Hey, Tom Riley.
Evening Swifty. Hello, Brewers. Hello, Eaton Beach. Depth Spader. Digger Dan's here. Wow, a lot of people that were commenting on my.
Yeah, a lot of people are here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of people that have been commenting on my 1,500 subscriber giveaway.
Hey, Gary.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
There's Mr. Tom Riley, one of my subscribers I went down and hunted with a few weeks ago. Him and I had a great day for the first time, him ever picking up a metal detector on his third hole. He got a Wheatie.
Come here. Come here.
Well, that would be interesting, Pat, but every single channel is showing what the YouTube logo on it on the StreamYard, but none of them show up on the regular YouTube page. It has to be on the StreamYard page that we're getting the little avatars with the YouTube symbol.
Plugs, I've been dipping for about 38 years. I've hit the wrong bottle several times.
Nathan, I have the tech skills of a 2-year-old. Yeah, don't we all?
All right, you are too big to be
Beaton
hooking
Beach,
up.
I am very well. Hi, buddy.
All right, you done?
You are a very pretty dog.
She is a very heavy dog. She's only 120.
There you go. Even in South Carolina, plugs for days. Hello.
All right, you said hi again. Now you can go bug mama.
There you go, Bill. I just gave you like number 30.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Gary was just telling me he got himself the new XP Deuce 2 and the Legend.
Hmm.
Gary Metal Detectors. This one,
Who's that? Gary's Metal Detecting.
yeah. Can't wait to see him put
Who's
those
that?
back.
Who's the Legend made by?
Nope.
That's not to macro.
Oh, okay. Now is that kind of like a mini version of the Simplex?
No, the Legend
Oh,
is
no,
like
no.
they're top of the line now.
With the,
Oh, okay.
800.
So is it going to be better
Those
than? Is it going to be better than the Nocta Macro?
But it's made by
I don't know
Nocta
about better, but
I mean, the,
people could run-
Amphibio, yeah.
What's the one that? Well, who's the guy out there in Texas that does the Army bases?
Garrett?
No, the black guy.
Oh, Hello World.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Darnell. Hello World, Darnell.
Yeah, he uses
Doesn't- I
Amphibio.
thought he used the top line macro, Nocta Macro.
Well, this one
Yeah.
just came out like this week.
Yeah, this
Right,
came
but
out.
what's that one called?
He used the Amphibio.
The Amphibio. That's it. I couldn't think of that.
Yeah, he
So
used
this
Well,
this
this
is
is
supposed
better
to be
because he
above
is-
that.
this one is
Yeah,
supposed to
because the
be
Amphibio, even though it's multi-frequency, can only use one frequency at a time. The Legend can use them all or one at a time. And
Also, the
in
Legends
Simplex
going multi-frequency.
mhm.
Yes,
It's supposed to be simultaneous multi-frequency, kind of like the Nox.
but it looks like the Simplex because it's in the same housing. And the thing is, right now you get the Pro Pack with 2 coils for $765.
For the Legend.
Yep.
Wow, they're competing. They're competing directly with the price of the Nox.
I'm gonna tell you what, I did not care for the Simplex, and mainly because of the tones. We got it for Squeak, and the tones really hurt her head. We called it the dying duck.
Yeah,
Well,
Bill.
they
Gary says he's
changed
getting
on the
both.
Legend.
Yeah, the Legend tones are supposed to be better.
They're almost like the Mind Lab.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, it's I was on the live stream with Detect America when they had the rep from Nocta on there, and I mean, it sounds good, it looks good, but I mean, we've pretty much gone all Mind Lab now, and I mean, we're gonna stick with Mind Lab. I don't have the money, number one, to keep brand hopping, and it's not going to do anything that my Nox won't do. It really isn't going to do anything that her Vanquish won't do except go underwater. And Squeak isn't water hunting.
Well, I have watched a few. I have watched a few of the new people that just got their day as twos. And there's a guy that did a quick 35, 40-second video where he put like 12 pennies down in a row, all about an inch or two apart, and he swung that thing over as fast as he could. That machine picked up every single different tone from every single different coin as fast as he could do it. That was one of the most impressive air tests I've ever seen.
The only thing I don't like about the air tests is there's no accounting for soil. We're in Central Virginia. We have some of the reddest clay that you could ever want to get near. And I mean, you go to DIV, which is only 45 minutes for me, and the soil up there is so bad, if you're not using a PI machine, you're really going to struggle. I mean, even the Nox struggled hard up there. We go to some of our commissions out there, and you know, her Vanquish is almost obsolete up there with just the soil conditions. So I mean, the air tests are great, but you know, show me some actual digging time with it. You know, don't you know, show me on a board. I want to see you out here in some red clay. I want to see you out here in some mud. I want to see you in sand. I want to see you actually detecting with this thing.
Well, I learned the best ones to watch is I was watching this guy at Salt Lake City. And with his Knox and his Vanquish, like he said, he goes, okay, either one of them, he goes, I can get down about 4 or 5 inches in this soil here because there's so much salt in it.
Mm.
That's the best.
Well, I'll tell you something. When I'm in 3-4 feet of water with that Knox in the Gulf, that thing is as quiet as a church mouse till it hits a signal. And I don't like a constantly chirpy machine. I want a quiet machine till it goes over something. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have your areas where you have some EMI or you have some power lines above you or some big cable below you, but for the vast majority of the time, that Knox is as quiet as you want it to be until it hits a signal.
Yeah. Yeah, and Swifty's right. I mean, there's some parts of Virginia, you turn on your pinpointer and try to pinpoint a target, the soil has so much iron in it that it's going to go falsing all over the place.
Now, Dalton and Troy went out yesterday. I haven't been able to go hunting for a while, guys. I got some personal things going on, but they both did a couple yards in single frequency, and they both had really good days.
I have tried it. One of my 600s has the new update from Mind Lab, and it's got the 4 kilohertz. And I've got one that runs a 6-inch coil exclusively, and I got the other one that runs stock coil. And the one that runs a stock coil, I won't update it. I don't like the new update. It changed my numbers. It changed my tones.
A lot of people didn't like it.
And you can't go back. You can't revert to the old program, even if your machine says you did. It's still on the new update.
Yep, Spader. I'm with you. Now I did get taught by John from the Grony Boys to try, because I told him I don't like part 2. Dalton uses part 2. I use part 1. I don't like the sounds of part 2. I'm just very comfortable with part 1. But he told me try part 2 in just 15 kilohertz. And I tried it on one of my properties that I'd hunted 3 times. And in less than 30 seconds in part 2 and 15 megahertz, I pulled out a barber dime over a property we'd been over 3 times. Wow. So I did a video just on that one find with that 15 kilohertz. And that was just another little tool that I wanted for my tool belt that I've learned. You know, I don't run a lot in single frequency, but if it's a chirpy day or if it's a lot of trash, I'll try it. I mean, why not? It's another tool for your tool bag.
Well, I mean, you know, and Swift is right with that too. Around here, we mainly run the tracking ground balance just because soil conditions change in a matter of feet here. We go from red clay to nice black soil to crap. And, you know, and I don't really play around with the settings. I mean, I run part 2. I love 50 tones. I mean, I used an AT Pro for years, and I loved that the sound on the Pro would also give you depth, you know, for the most part. And I missed that using the Knox, but with the 50 tones, I can pick out tones a bit better, almost like I did with the Pro. But yeah, we really, really have to run the auto tracking balance here.
Well, I was just going to say that I agree with Swifty. I use the auto ground all the time because of the soil change. You're right, Pat. Dalton and Troy don't have bad days. They went out to Tampa yesterday and got on some 1900 permission, some big lot. And between the two of them, they came home with 9 silvers, including an SLQ, a barber, Wheaties, an Indian, old jewelry. I mean, they just, I mean, they had such a phenomenal day yesterday. It made me sick that I wasn't there.
Was that a private permission or were they on the beach?
No, they did a 1900 house. Well, they had more than one house. They had one house and they went back to another house they didn't finish. So, yeah, Swifty says he uses the auto. Plugs for Day says a guy did a test and on the multi on the Knox, it mainly runs 7.5. That's probably true, but what it does is it's got to have a standard base to run, and then depending on the coin or the relic or the item in there, it'll switch to that frequency to give you the best reading on that item in the ground. That's the way I've read the way that works. Rob needs a Monardo mode for his knocks. You got that shit, Marco Rouse. Wow, Digger Dan says he never ground balances. I ground balance. I do the air ground balance I do the pump ground balance every time I put the knocks on.
You know what,
I'm gonna
though?
tell you-
Depth Spader, Brad just said it all. He goes, not so much the machine. You need a location that's going to have the fines.
Yeah, absolutely. I am a
You
firm
know,
believer that
true.
metal detecting is the exact same as real estate. It's all about location, location, location. And if you're over good ground, probably 90% of the machines are going to find at least 90% of the stuff. So yeah, your job's just got to be to hold the machine and interpret what it's telling you.
Now, see, we are the type of detectors, we will detect any permission we can get. I don't care if the house was built 5 years ago. If we get permission to detect the property, we're going to go out there and detect it. I mean, you really just never know. We had one where the guy was like, my yard is all fill dirt. You can come out and swing, but, my house was built 2 years ago. Well, the fill dirt came from a skirmish site, and there were bullets all over the place. We took 2 buddies of ours with us, and they were digging up 3 ringers and gardeners. And it's like, fill dirt can sometimes be good.
When Charlie and I were in Tallahassee and we did Denise's girlfriend, she'd asked us to come over find a piece of jewelry that had been missing for 20 years. And she said her house was like 1940s, and next thing you know, we're digging up, Charlie and I dug up a couple of 3 ringers that had been fired and hit, and they were mashed up. And we're like wondering how the hell are we pulling out post-Civil War stuff here? And then one of the neighbors came over and says there was an entire neighborhood here before this 30s, 40s neighborhood from the turn of the century. And you're like, okay, well, that answered that question. And you wouldn't thought that we were getting those kind of fines. But yeah, we were getting 1800s fines on 1930s properties.
Brought in fill dirt from somewhere.
Well, there was old houses there before. There were wooden houses before the concrete houses.
Back home in California, my favorite park, right at the entrance to it, is a place where they like to haul in dirt from whatever places they're working on the city and dump it there and spread it out. So at 4 or 5 inches, I was finding wheat pennies, square nails. I found half of a fifth wheel from an 1840 horse-drawn carriage made in Boston. You get down below that, I was getting zinc pennies, Coca-Cola cans, but all the good stuff was on the top because it was all from fill dirt.
Yeah, we went out to find an earring the other day that was lost like 7 years ago, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's sterling silver earring with a diamond." So we're trying to, pinpoint tiny little targets, and then after about 3 hours, they showed us a picture of it, and we're like, "Man, there isn't enough silver there to fill the end of a thimble." we ain't gonna pick that up, and I mean, it was kind of a lost cause, but we had fun doing it.
And that's like my last Sunday's video of the Strange, Bizarre, and Unknown. The last one, or week before actually. Guy in Croatia. You can see he's up on a mountainside, and it looks like there's never been anything there. Little plateau, just dirt. You can see a town way off. Well, apparently it was one of the places where, the trade routes from other countries merged because he found stuff from 300 AD Greece all the way up to the Ottoman Empire in the 1500s.
Wow.
And yet he took his camera and he scanned it. It was nothing but dirt and rocks. You couldn't tell if anything had ever been there before. But he was finding a lot of good stuff out there.
All right, I found the video, guys, I was talking about. Let me see if I can pull up my other camera.
Okay.
His other camera.
Yeah, let me all right, you may lose me for a second here, Bill.
We'll find you again, Rob.
Okay.
Like I said, y'all, if somebody's trying to talk to me, man, I try to glance over and catch, but I suck at doing 3 things at once, and I apologize. I'm not trying to ignore you.
Thank you, Pat. Yeah, I want to use that. I'll get a clip of that and throw it in next Sunday's show because I want to know what that leaf is. I went back and double checked. Okay, yeah.
Digger Dan, you were asking about the update. Yeah, from my understanding, talking with Mind Lab, is once you update, you can go back and try to install the previous program you were using. It'll say you did, but you didn't. You'll still be running the new program.
Yeah, I think they're all doing that though. I know Nocta Macro, same thing with the Simplex. If you upgrade, you can't go backwards.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I waited so long. You know, I don't want to update my other Knox because I love the way it is, and I've gotten used to it. The one that runs a 6-inch coil, I mean, it's good, and I'm getting used to the 6-inch. I hated the 6-inch coil when I first started using it, but now that I've been, you know, dedicating time to it and actually getting in the woods and using, I mean, it's pretty awesome for the places I've had it the past couple outings.
Yeah. Well, everybody loved that so much, and like they were saying, the Vanquish is basically just a downgraded version of the Nox. So I got the smallest coil for it too, for tight places and stuff. Yeah, I haven't really noticed any depth loss in it. So
I'm gonna tell you, Squeak uses the 440. It was gifted
What I
to
have.
her from some friends of ours, and she loves it. She won't touch anything else. She won't even touch my Nox.
Huh.
It runs neck and neck with my Nox, and we've tested it out in the field where I've hit a target 6 or 8 inches down, small pinpoint target, and she'll come behind, and I got her the smaller coil for that Vanquish. Man, she'll ping right on it. Same numbers, same everything. Now hers doesn't. Hers has an auto ground balance on it. Every once in a while, we'll get near something EMI or something that'll give her a couple chirps. But if you turn it off and turn it back on, it automatically noise cancels as soon as you turn it on.
Yeah.
And takes the chatter right on out. Even getting, you know, within a foot or two away from my Nox, she's getting no feedback on it, no chirps. I mean, it's an awesome little machine.
Yeah. The only problem I had with mine is because back where I lived in California was the gold fields. So there's a lot of iron in the ground. And being it could only run no ground balance, no manual ground balance, and multi-frequency only, it would chatter a lot when I did the hot soil and the red clay. But I could still pull a target out because if there was something in there, it would actually repeat that number as you walked in a circle every time. It's like, boom, there it is. So,
Yeah, Digger Dan. The only difference, from my understanding, between the 440 and the 540 is the 540 runs Bluetooth, and it's got one extra mode on it. Squeak can't use the Bluetooth because she's 75% deaf in her ear. So the Bluetooth is kind of a moot point, you know, with her. My only downside to them is they're not waterproof. They're not even really water resistant, which I was hoping they would be. But I mean, let's face it, Squeak's water detecting is, you know, knee deep in a creek once in a while. So, and if it rains, she's not in the rain.
the 540 is a little more adjustable and has high and low iron.
I mean, for what we detect, and I mean, you know, for Squeak, it's a perfect little machine. I'd like to move her up to a Nox at some point.
I got mine on sale, and it's like the 540 was on sale, and I thought, you know, for the difference in price, there's nothing on the 540 I want. I didn't want the Bluetooth. I don't need it to be more adjustable, and I would only leave it on the high end on the iron, so I don't miss anything. So
Right. Hey, Bill, can you put the link in for Rob?
well, he's not connected. The thing's coming up there.
He just asked down here in the chat, can you put the link up?
Yeah, I saw it. Thank you. But now he went away again. Okay, Rob, what are you doing?
Yeah, Dan, the 440 is an awesome little machine. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a kid's detector. I wouldn't say it's a beginner's detector. I mean, it's really decent. Like I said, Squeak's been using it for almost a year now, and she loves it. She won't touch anything else. I've tried to get her to use my Nox, and she doesn't like the Nox. She loves. And I'm gonna tell you, we went to an event here, not too far from us, Old Dominion Relic Hunt, and one of the reps from Garrett was there because Garrett sponsors the hunt. And he come up behind Squeak when they were all getting ready to take the photo. And he's like, so how do you like using your Garrett detector? And she looked him dead in the face and says, I don't. I love my Vanquish 440 Mind Lab, and turned around. They snapped the picture. And you look in the picture and his face is just a stone, man. It was funny. Have a good one, Gary.
Good night, Gary. And congratulations, getting the Deuce 2 and a Legend. Awesome.
You know, we've got a good buddy that uses the Deus, and he hates hunting with us because, you know, he'll get about 50 feet, 60 feet away from me, and I'll angle my coil up towards him and drive his machine absolutely nuts. He'll think he's got something good, and he'll start trying to narrow it down, and I'm just steadily pinging him.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brad. The Vanquish over any others in the same price range.
I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. I bought a Simplex for Squeak, and I bought it because it collapses down so small, and we had several permissions that had porches, 1800s with the nice long porches. I'm like, man, that thing is small enough. You can get up underneath there with that SP24 coil and, you know, you get under there and actually detect, but she just couldn't get past the sound and the chirping. I mean, anytime you turned on the pinpointer, it ran that thing nuts. Then they put the mute function on it. So you mute it, you run your pinpointer, and then you forget to unmute the machine, and you've already gone 50, 60 feet without a signal because your daggone machine's muted.
Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Rob says he's there. I see him, but he's not coming all the way in for some reason.
There he comes. There he is. Look, it's Rob.
All right, guys, I got my portable camera hooked up. Let me show you this video. This is from the Calabash Digger. Bill, can you put me on full screen?
Yeah. See if I got the right one. No, it's not what I wanted. Come on. Man, what is going on with this thing?
Hit solo layout, Bill.
Huh?
Hit solo layout for me.
That's what I'm doing, and it's not doing anything.
Have a good one, Swifty. Take it easy, brother.
Let's try this one.
Oh, you did yourself. And this is why we don't go live ourselves often.
Well, some of these aren't working. I don't know why. That's really weird.
The little three buttons on my screen aren't working. All right, I'll do it this way. All right, this is Calabash Digger. Watch what he does here, guys.
Hey, Don, how's it going, buddy? I didn't see you pop in there.
All right, watch this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Brewers, I did that. It's still not.
I was pretty impressed with that, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not running out and buying one tomorrow, but I thought that was a pretty cool test.
I mean, it's awesome to see, but like I said before, put them in the ground, let them sit there for a year, and then try it and see, what the ground conditions do on them. I mean, I'm going to watch some of the videos. I know it's going to be a lot of videos being dumped from the Legend, from the Deus 2. And I'm going to watch some of them, but there's no way, we can justify going out and dropping, was it 1,700 or 1,800 for the Deus 2? And I think the Legend is $799 or $699. I mean, it's too much for us. And we're not gonna brand hop. I mean, we love our Mind Labs. We're gonna stick with them. And I mean, heck, I had just cracked a coil and sent it up to Mine Lab. And before they even got mine, they had a new one in the mail for me. And I think 4 days in the whole process, I had a brand new coil sitting on my doorstep. So, I mean, their customer service is awesome. I put their customer service right up there with Garrett. You know, Garrett's always had awesome customer service, and I put Mine Lab right up there with them right now.
Boy,
Oh,
Deb
I've got
Spader's
really-
a true Deb Spader's a true Mind Lab guy.
Oh yeah.
It took me a long time to like my Knox. And like I said, I used the Pro for years, and I had to get rid of the AT Pro because I kept finding myself throwing the Knox back in my truck, pulling the Pro out, and I wasn't getting time with it. And that's what I was missing. Once I started getting a lot of time with the Knox, I finally fell in love with it, and I won't touch anything else right now.
Well, like Deb Spader said, going from the Garrett to the Mine Lab is like going from a Camaro to a Vet, but the
Yeah.
Vet is a lot more fun.
See, I've got 3 Mind Labs, so I don't have any comparison. I started with Mind Lab, and I just upgraded.
Well, I never owned a Garrett, but I used a few of them, and I didn't like the feel of the AT Pro. I mean, the machine was fine; it worked great. I liked the tones. I just didn't like the balance of it.
I didn't like the empty box. They got that great big control box with all the empty space in it. And I mean, it felt unbalanced, but I'm going to tell you what, I mean, I found a lot of nice stuff with that AT Pro. I loved it. I swore when I had that Pro that I wouldn't switch to anything else. And then a buddy of mine let me run his Knox 800. And I mean, I loved the tones. I loved the feel. It was so much lighter. And I mean, it was what I had been looking for, but didn't have the money at the time. And
Good evening, Bernie. Deb Spader,
Hi,
it blows
Bernie.
my mind. You got 402 silver coins. That just blows my mind.
But, I've got Technetics, Bounty Hunter, Mine Lab, and you know, I've used a lot of different detectors, and yeah, Mine Lab to me right now is like the number one choice out there. But even though I've never used an Octomacro after talking to other people, it's right up there with Mine Lab as far as now quality. I got to say, I know Octomacro is better because I tell you, the Vanquish build quality is not that great.
yeah, I mean, it feels toy-ish, but I mean, the electronics are there in it. I mean, that's the biggest thing. The electronics are top
The only
notch.
problem is
I think if Knox can get their waterproofing issues straightened out, I think they're yeah, like Bill says, their electronics are there. You just got to get the little waterproofing a little bit better.
Yeah.
well, it's not just that because like what's his name, Pace Streak Super Freak. He got the 440 or 540, I don't remember which one, and like they showed. Now if the guy's rough on his detectors, he'll throw them, but he didn't even have to do that with the Vanquish. He just dropped it, and not from that far, and the thing shut off on him. He dropped it
And
like
that we had an issue with Squeak's Vanquish when we first got it. It was a battery compartment issue. The batteries, just like the Ace series, they didn't seat well, and it was the cover. We contacted Mine Lab and we're like, look, you know, just putting this thing against the wall, it's cutting off. What's going on? They sent us a new battery cover, and I can sit there at head height and drop that Vanquish on the ground now. It doesn't cut off. It doesn't chirp. It doesn't do, and that's the simple fix was literally the battery cover of all things.
Wow.
And what it is, if you look in that cover, you got those little fins. When they first come out with the Vanquish, the fins were offset just a hair, and it was letting those batteries move, and that's why it was cutting off.
Bill, you see Digger Dan's comment, Squeak?
Yeah, I've got an R&B. That was a good buy too for $50.
So I'm not familiar with that R&B battery.
I'm not sure what
made in
that is.
England for English company, and like when you use rechargeables with the Vanquish, you get 6 to 8 hours if you're lucky on the 2600 milliamp, and these will let you go, like 25 to 40 hours before you got to recharge. It's a whole battery box.
I'm gonna tell you what, we go, and this is gonna sound funny. We go to Dollar Tree and get the Panasonic AA batteries and the 9-volt batteries, and we have tested these quite a bit. We have just as much runtime on these machines with these Panasonic Dollar Tree batteries as we do with Duracells and Energizers. Yeah. And I mean, we're saving what, $6 a pack versus $1 for 4. I mean, we keep a stock in those.
I use the Dollar Tree 9-volt batteries in my Garrett Carrot.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were saying they were having issues with that. I've never had a problem, and I've had my Carrot for 4 or 5 years now. And
I will tell you, as your battery starts to die on the Garrett, and then it finally starts chirping, as soon as you put that new battery in, it does. You can tell a difference with your Carrot with that new battery in there. They love new batteries.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the only thing I hate buying batteries all the time. So that's why I switched to the rechargeables.
I always had a problem with the rechargeables just not lasting as long for me.
I'll tell you what happened with my 705. I bought rechargeables with my 705, which took 4A batteries. They were like a fraction of a millimeter thicker than an A battery. And they got stuck in my battery compartment. They were like and I had to go to a shop to get them removed. And then when I sent my 705 in, the control pod for the pinpointer mode was sticking. When they put the batteries in to test it, they actually didn't like the battery compartment. So MindLab put a whole new battery compartment in my 705 for me, and I never even asked them.
Wow. Hey, Dan, what's going on, buddy?
Hi, Dan.
Yeah, not too much, man. The R&B battery, it's a battery pack that's USB port rechargeable. And it's a whole battery pack that plugs right into where the AA's go into.
Wow.
So you don't ever have to remove this if you don't want to. So you just
nice.
And charge it up.
Where do you charge it from then?
Right. I don't know if it'll show up well on the camera, but
okay, so you got to take the cover off.
Yeah, there's just a little flap right there.
Oh, a little flap for the USB.
Yep.
Check that out.
So it'll be red when it's charging, and then when it's done charging, there will be a green light.
Oh wow, I had never heard of that.
The only problem with this battery is though, when it runs out on you, it won't tell you the level of battery use that you have. It will just die. That's it. It'll just give up, and that's it. So you got to mentally keep note on how long you use it for.
I mean, what kind of hours are you looking at with that?
About 25 to 30.
Okay, because I mean, we get 12 to 14, maybe 16 off of those Panasonic AA's, which is on par with what my AT Pro is eating up. And that's without her using headphones. That's just
like Brewer's comments. The Garrett Carrot eats more batteries than rabbits eat carrots.
I learned on the rechargeables.
So I mean,
you want to get NiCad, not the lithium ion.
300. You get the batteries.
You get NiCad
R&D,
batteries.
you just plug it right in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you get
you can use that R&B.
Now, Dan, is that an aftermarket company?
R&B is But I mean, it blends well with the Vanquish. You know,
and you said those are in England or are those here?
The company is, England.
Man, I like his detector shelf.
I handmade that.
Charge them slowly to where the battery doesn't heat up, and never let it run completely out. You can get 2,000 to 3,000 charges in a NiCad battery. But people always overheat them, and that tears any battery up.
There you go, plugs.
Run them completely dead, and that both shortens the life of them. Because I got
detecting Okanagan. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. Okanagan.
Squeak had such a hard time trying to pronounce that when we were doing our live in the backyard. She looked at me. She goes, "I can't say it." I'm like, "Just try. At least put forth the effort."
You guys want to see my best find that I found for the day?
Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah.
If it's gold, I'm turning off.
That's gold. Not only did I find that gold, I found this gold too. 2 golds in one day.
Oh wow.
So
I have only done that twice in my life.
that's a Freemason's ring.
Oh man, that's up there on my bucket list.
Yeah,
That
it was
and
on
the
mine
Boise
too.
ring.
I was so excited. I mean, I've been tearing that park apart all month of November.
Congratulations.
You know, and all those coins that I
Yep.
found last month
Yeah.
pretty much came from the same park this ring came from.
Mm.
So determination of just going back and just hitting it as hard as you can.
Is it
Lucky
an older
spring.
park or modern park?
Man, I wish we could do parks here.
Is
Oh,
it
it's a
an
ball
older park or
field.
modern?
It's a fairly old ball field, I guess. I mean, it's got a soccer field, football field, 2 baseball fields.
Mm.
So a lot of
Plugs for
ground to
days.
cover.
Plugs for days. If I ever get a car and not a truck to where I have an SUV back, I can lay it down. My machine's never going to leave my vehicle either.
Just put a camper shell on your pickup.
No, I do too much construction crap with my pickup.
I had a Ford Focus and it was off the road more than it was on the road.
Well, my Ranger's in the shop. I'm carless right now. My Ranger's in the shop.
Told you I got a bicycle in the backyard. We'll ship it on down to you. Pedal on down to the beach, brother.
Save your own gas.
I'm about,
Yeah,
ready, to
St.
go out,
Lucie.
I'm about ready to go out and buy a scooter, Bill. I'm telling you.
St. Lucie, I looked at a pulse dive and got pretty interested in it, but we ended up winning another carrot from Juice on one of his giveaways. The Squeaks carrot had just crapped out, and it was perfect timing. I mean, it was awesome. But
You know, I like that little pulse dive machine for water hunting, but I've taken the pinpointer off to have to use as an emergency pinpointer, and I don't think it works very well as a pinpointer. That's
Oh,
just
really?
my opinion. I
I
didn't
agree
like
with
it.
you, Rob.
I didn't like it as a pinpointer.
No, I agree with you. It's
I had
bulky.
heard
It
someone
doesn't hit
else say
deep.
that too.
The day my carrot broke, we were starting to hunt. My club president had his pulse dive in his trunk, so he took it apart and gave it to me as an emergency pinpointer. And man, give me my carrot pack anytime.
I mean, it still has the same halo as the carrot, right? The pulse dive as a pinpointer, doesn't it still have the same halo?
You mean
Yeah,
the
well,
360?
It goes all the way
you
to
unscrew it.
the shaft.
You unscrew it from the halo and you use the
No,
handle
I'm
shaft.
talking about the field when you're pinpointing with it. It still has the carrot. The entire stick is your pinpointer up to the shaft, up to the handle, and you're
Rob,
picking up. all
He's
the way
asking
around.
about the 360.
Yeah,
The 360 beat. You know, beep, 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 beep
Right.
around it.
yeah.
That's what he's asking. Yeah.
Yeah, does it do it that way?
But this pinpointer does not like foil.
I
It
just
will not,
don't.
it will not pick up
To,
foil.
to
like
me,
the
you had to
carrot
be
does.
so much more closer to the object.
Now, if it won't pick up foil very good, will it pick up gold, or is still?
I doubt it.
That I'm not sure. I don't use it much. I mean, I only charged it once, and I've had it for over a year. And I'd rather use the Garrett.
I've seen videos of people, diving under fishing piers and lookout piers and stuff, and I mean that thing looks like a beast under the water, running the ring on it and whatnot. It looks like a beast under the water.
My club president, we had a ring finders call out. A guy lost his medical class ring over the side of his sailboat, and it went down into the muck of the harbor of the marina. And he had the pulse dive using his Blue Nemo, so they could stay underwater. And he had the new 8-inch ring on the pulse dive, and it got the ring down in about 5-6 inches of muck under the water. And he came up with the guy's glass ring using the Blue Nemo.
I'll be
And,
right back.
do what, Bill?
He said he'd be right back.
Oh, so yeah, they made a video of that on his channel, Epic Adventures in Paradise. They did the ring recovery with the Blue Nemo, and it worked great.
I think the Pulse dive is probably better underwater. That's probably why it was what it was mainly designed for.
Yes, I agree
You
with
know.
you. And Plugs for Days, he always makes great comments. Plugs for Days. I think people make detecting way more complicated than it really is. If it beeps, dig it.
Yeah.
Okay, there's your lessons for the day, folks, and nothing will ever change. It's that
It's
simple.
true.
It's that simple, folks.
I'm gonna tell you, I went out Sunday for a couple
Makes
hours,
sense.
and I followed some of Pat's advice. One of his recent videos, he called this big piece of iron a blocker. And I've got one property I've been hitting for 3 or 4 years now out in Buckingham. It's where I keep finding the counterfeit coins. And a lot of iron, because all they did was they pushed the tavern over, they pushed the house over, and just scattered it. And I went out Sunday and just started digging iron. That's all. I literally put the detector on all metal and just started digging iron out of everywhere. And I spent about 2 hours doing it in this one area, and then went back over it. And that's when I found the 2 coins and a couple buckles and stuff like that. And it's like, that's pretty awesome.
So what do you have to do with those counterfeits? Are you going to get in trouble if you have a bunch of them?
Oh no, the story is that one of the owners of this tavern property, everybody in this area had a tavern. That's when Cornwallis went through this particular county. One of his reports was that everybody was drunk. So, and we had seen public records where one of the brothers that owned this property was actually hung for counterfeiting in the early 1800s. So we knew we were finding actual counterfeit coins from back then. And to us, they were awesome. And I thought we'd pretty much cleaned it out, but I found they tried to stamp a large cent onto a piece of brass, and you can see where it was off center. So I guess they tossed it, and I found a half penny that they had actually tried to stamp, and it didn't go through. And I guess with those, you have one shot to do it. If it doesn't do right, you got to go to the next. I don't know, maybe they melt them back down, or whatever they did with them. But I mean, us, they're just awesome finds. We just put them on the display shelf.
Yeah, Bernie, the Pulse Dive's now got the new 8-inch coil with it. And Detecting Okanagan says he owns he or she owns a Tesoro Compadre. It's amazing how many people I talk to in this hobby that still own Tesoro metal detectors.
I thought it was a new company. That's an older company.
Oh yeah, they've been around. Oh yeah, they went out of business several years ago, before Whites did.
Oh wow.
Yep.
But there's still a lot of people that have them, and they swear by them, just like the people that swore by the Whites. Pat was using the Whites up till the day they went out of business.
The other day, I was driving down the road, and some guy had the one of the older Whites Spectrum, I think it was.
Which one?
Spectrum or something on that lines.
Yeah, the something. Yeah. Pat had the something 5 model.
Yeah, it was like the back was black and square from on the back side of the handle instead of like on the front. I pulled over to ask him if he needed a ride anywhere. A fellow metal detectorist. Why not pick him up and bring him to where he's going? But he's like, "Oh, I'm just cutting off in the woods right up over here." So he must be on some good land or something. If to be heading up that way.
I mean, around here, we've got a local detecting shop that we love going to, and the guy that owns it, that's one of Squeak's buddies. And the main ones around here has always been Garrett. Garrett's been one of the top detectors around here. Mine Lab and White's was actually a big brand around here as well. But now it's a lot of people around here actually, believe it or not, will buy the PI machines. I've talked to several that bought a PI machine just to do DIV because they weren't pulse induction.
Well, I know PI. What's DIV?
Digging in Virginia, the big Civil War event every year up here.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. I've just gotten in trouble doing that before. Assuming a guy's a guy or a girl's a girl. So I will update my Mom Is Gone detecting checklist sheet.
Thanks for letting let us know, Paul. Oh, an Eagle SL2 at a yard sale for $25. That was a good buy. Good machine.
Well,
Good
you
night,
guys
Brad.
know I got that brand new whites detector that I sold to Pat. That's brand new, still in the box. It's new old stock.
Mm.
And when I did that video, I can't tell you how many people came out of the woodwork telling me that that was their first machine that they used for years, and a lot of them either had just gotten rid of it or still had it in their garage somewhere, and it was a 20-year-old machine.
Have a good one, Deb Spader.
Hi, Don. Roller Creeper.
Deb Spader, thanks.
Wait, great machine. I mean, look now. Garrett bought them out, and Garrett just put their gold machine back out under their name, changed the handle on it, and everything, and the color. But other than that, so it's the White's machine all the way through.
The DA guys, Detect America guys, were talking about that on their live stream. They were talking about Garrett bought whites. What were they going to do with them? But Garrett came back out with one of their, I guess, older models, and it's all updated. And they're like, is this the whites technology mixed with theirs that they put back out of it? I mean, it seems a shame to buy out a company that's been around so long and just dive them. Just buy them out and dive them. What's the point of spending all that money to buy them out when they're going out anyway?
Bill, I think they bought them for their patents.
Yep, especially for their V3i, the multi-frequency machines.
Because see, we got two Bills here. So let's say Papa Rouse Bill. Like I say, I don't know much about Garrett's because I'm only 4 years into this hobby, and I started off with Mind Lab. And the reason I started off and the reason I got in this hobby is just like a lot of other people. I started watching Curse of Oak Island, and the only guy on that fucking show that ever found anything was the guy with the metal detector. Okay, and
they found wood tonight. They found wood.
Yeah. He's the only guy that actually found coins and jewelry, and he was using a Mind Lab. I mean, obviously he's using like a $4,000 Mind Lab, but when I sold my investment property, I told myself I'd take up to $1,000 and start metal detecting, and I bought the Xterra 705. Now, if I'd have realized that the Garrett machine was waterproof, I might have bought an AT Pro, but I didn't know that then. So the first time I ever put my Mind Lab coil in the water in a lake, and I pulled my first nickel out of a lake underwater, I said, that's it. My second machine is going to be waterproof. And then freaking Mind Lab come out with the Knox, and everybody started losing their mind over it. And I started watching the videos, and I said, that's it. That's my waterproof machine. But
got one that wasn't waterproof.
Yeah, two of mine haven't been waterproof now. But if I'm right saying this, isn't Garrett the only company right now that does not have a multi-frequency machine?
No, they have
the
multi-frequency
Apex
now.
I thought they had one.
Did they just come out with one? Because it seems like they're late to the party. I think that's one reason why they bought White's patents, like you said, with that VFI. What do they have, Dan?
The Apex.
Oh, the Apex. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not multi-frequency. The Apex.
It is. It's multi-frequency.
Is it?
4 frequencies, 5, 10, 15, and 20. And you
But
can
not
run all
simultaneous.
Will it run them simultaneously, Bill?
or single. Yeah. I think you can run 5 and 10 and 15 and 20 together.
Huh.
They call that multi, though?
Yeah, Plug says it's the Apex.
Yeah. If you run more than one at a time, it's multi-frequency.
The only thing I really know about the Apex is a lot of people were upset when Garrett put it out because they're like, what is this, the Ace 500? It wasn't waterproof. It wasn't a competitor with their AT Pros. It was just this standalone.
I thought they would come out with something that was going to be their equivalent to the Mind Lab.
Right.
It was going to go head to head with the Mind Lab. That's what I really thought that they were going to do.
And I noticed
a lot of
Apex
people
is.
thought-
Sorry.
Okay, it's like Clark
What's that,
Robert. Clark Cove uses a Apex.
Mhm.
He does good with it,
You
too.
watch-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nathan, when Whites went out of business and filed bankruptcy or whatever, Garrett bought them, and I think they bought them mainly for their I guess like for their back inventory and for all their they got charge of all their proprietary uh, all their patents and proprietary information.
Hey, Brian, what's up, buddy?
Even Brian,
Hello,
I mean,
Brian.
you know, I like Plug said, you know, wishes Garrett would step it up, but I mean, Garrett's always been reliable and consistent, except for I didn't care for the Max. I didn't care for the AT Gold. I'm not a threshold
the
person.
gold was just an update on the Max and the Pro.
Right. And I mean, you know, it was a great machine. It still is. AT Pro, I will never knock an AT Pro. That is an awesome detector.
When I started watching metal detecting videos in February 17, when I joined this hobby, and I started finding the big channels, Quarter Hoarder, Hoover Boys, all your bigger channels back then, 100% of these people were using AT Pros or AT Maxes, 100%. And then slowly, every now and then, you'd see the Nocta Macro in there, or you'd see a occasional Deus every now and then. But like 99% of the people, and then people started. A few more people started going to the Nocta Macro, Plugmaster Ford and Missouri Mike. They went to him, and he started loving it. And then I couldn't believe the freaking Hoover Boys switched over. They didn't even announce it. There was just a video where one day they all had AT Maxes and Pros, and the next day half the crew had Equinoxes, and then they started doing videos where they would give you the signal on both the AT signal and then the Equinox signal.
Mm-hmm. And
I haven't talked to Kurt in over a year, but you know, a lot of people think they got paid to do that.
Have a good one, Don.
I don't know.
I mean, I enjoy watching Stealth Diggers.
Yeah, they were another channel.
They went straight Fisher almost overnight, and they had all been using Garrett machines. They went straight Fisher just all of a sudden. I mean, they're doing great with them. I've never personally used one, but I mean, you know, they're just almost overnight.
And look at Brad from Green Mountain. He went right from the AT to I believe they sent him a Deus to check out.
He just put out a picture. He got the Deus 2 yesterday or today.
No kidding.
Yep. So I'm sure he's going to have some videos of that coming out here soon. But yeah, he just showed the box sitting on his counter.
Was he have a Facebook page?
Yeah, Green Mountain Metal Detector.
Shit, I'm not on Facebook enough.
You don't even check your Facebook Messenger messages for a month.
Yeah, I really pissed off General Dighole that week. I'll tell you, man, was he mad at me.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, he is an awesome dude. He is sending Squeak an awesome gift. Hopefully it gets here and is in the shape it's supposed to be. I had goosebumps when he sent me a picture of what he's sending her, and it is awesome. And she's probably still awake, hiding around the corner listening.
Akhenaten
it is.
Says he uses a Deus on all his videos, and he does live digs.
I think Nugget Noggin also started off with the AT Pro.
Yes, that was the other channel I couldn't think of, Dan. You're exactly right.
And I know I can't wait to run into the Stealth Diggers one of these days.
Yeah, Nugget
They can't live too far from me.
Oh, really? KG and Ringy, they're still big team Garrett. Nugget Nugget's still big team Garrett. And I mean, they do great with what they've got. And like I said,
Brad from the Hoover Boys is on the box. Yeah, Plugs. He was pissed off at me for like 2 weeks. I finally had to shut him down one time. When you start slamming me in my own live stream, that's when I have to shut you down.
Oh no, I didn't see that one. I missed that one.
Oh my God, was he mad at me? He was calling me everything but a white man. I'm telling you.
Wow.
He lined up, and this is why he was mad. He is friends. For some reason, we got off on a side talk on the JFK assassination and the conspiracy around it.
He's big on that.
He is actually friends with Lee Harvey Oswald's American Girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually lined her up to be a guest on one of my shows. And before I could contact with him, she left the area, and he was pissed off at me that he had this whole thing lined up to do a live stream with her as a guest, and I waited too long, and she left the area.
Because she was up here for a little bit. She was up here in Richmond for a little bit.
I think she went to the.
So I'm closing out. See you guys in the stream.
Hey, buddy, have a good one.
See,
Yeah,
Plugs
she was up here for a little bit here in Richmond, from what I understand.
Plugs for Days has another good question. If you got a free machine sent to you, would you switch over?
I would use it, but I wouldn't switch.
See,
I would
here's the
try
thing. I don't want to take the time to learn another machine now. It took me freaking long enough to learn the Knox.
That's my big fear. That's why I won't look at an 800. That's why I won't look at another machine. I've just gotten to where I'm comfortable using my Knox with what I've got. I still haven't even played with all the programs on my Knox. All the
You have a 6 or an 8, Bill.
I've got a 600.
See, and here's the deal. I've been telling everybody for 2 years since I've had the 800 to buy an 800 over the 600. I convinced Detecting Smith's Jason to buy the 800. I helped him buy his, and that's when he sent me the Knox book, the yellow Knox book, as a thank you. And then I told Cynthia to buy the 800 over the 600. And then my 800 goes out, and they tell me they're going to have it for up to 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm like, that's unacceptable. I got to get buy a thing. And then I found Detector Warehouse was selling the 600, and for free, for the same price as everybody else had it, they were going to send you the 800 wireless headphones free. And then plus the 5 free items they do and the free shipping. And they guaranteed they'd have it to me in 3 days. I ordered it on a Tuesday. They guaranteed it would get there Friday because I had that big hunt scheduled with the Grony Boys. And at 1 o'clock on Friday, it arrived with both sets of headphones free. That was $180 extra gift, those free 800 headphones. And like I say, I was just a new customer, and the guy sponsored my channel and sent me hundreds of dollars of free stuff that I'm now giving away in the giveaway. But when I started reading on that Knox book that Jason sent me, I was always under the impression that when you only had the 3 channels, you had the beach, the field, and the park, and that you didn't have the gold in the 600, that you didn't have the 20 and the 40 megahertz.
Right.
And I was wrong. You have those. Mm-hmm. You just cannot run those 2 frequencies on single mode. Right. But they're there, and I didn't know that. So I got thinking, all these people buying the Knox, they're missing the 20 and the 40 frequency. Well, I was wrong. They have them there. You just can't run those 2 frequencies single. But when you're in multi-mode, you're running the exact same mode you're running in the 800. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be doing a video soon on me switching completely 180 degrees on recommending the 800 to where now I recommend everybody save the $200, get the 600, unless you are a gold prospector.
Now, the 800 does have some program tweaks with it. And I mean, you can do some.
You do have those advanced programs, Bill. And in 2.5 years of having my 800, I have never pushed that button.
And I mean, that's us. I wanted a good detector that was updatable. That was one of the big ones. I wanted to be able to update my detector. And believe it or not, Note to Macro sold me on the update. I'm like, well, this is cool, that they're going to update their product. Well, MindLab, hook it up to the computer, it updates. And I wanted something that was much lighter, much more balanced. And I ended up looking at the 800, and I'm like, I don't look for gold in streams, so I don't need that. I don't care for wireless headphones, don't need that. And the extra programs are just something that I'm never going to get around to touch and save $200.
The only thing I like better about the 800 is your swing speed. On the 600, you have a choice of 1 through 3, and on the 800, it's 1 through 8.
Right.
I do like that, that little bigger variety on the 800, but I've adapted to it on the 600.
I keep mine at 3, and simply because to me it picks through better. Now,
and I've learned that too.
That's not me swinging that fast. I don't swing that fast. But to me, I've tried the 2 and I've tried the 1. The 3 seems to pick through just a bit better. So I mean, I've left it on that. You know, I've tried to go down to 2 when I'm in a field. I've tried field modes. I do not like the field mode.
Yeah, I tried 2 also, Bill, and I agree. The only time I run 2 now is sometimes on the beach because they're a lot cleaner and you're not dealing with all the trash. But if I'm in the fields or in the people's yards or whatever, I stay on 3. Dan says about me talking about learning a new detector. Rob, it takes a long time to learn a detector. I had just met Dalton as a subscriber when we started. He invited me to one of his permissions on the other side of the county. I met Dalton. He wasn't what I expected to be. You know, I didn't expect a young, good-looking, athletic guy there to be into metal detecting. You know, I thought it'd be some old fat fart like me. And then Dalton had gotten his 600. He had it about 6 months, and man, that guy learned that machine. So when we started hunting together, and I bought it, I'd show up to hunt with him. He goes, "Where's your 800? Why do you have your 705?" I go, "I don't know the 800. I can't. I don't understand it." I said, "I know this machine like the back of my hand." He goes, "Rob, start bringing it, and I'll teach it to you." And it took him forever to teach me that, but he was so patient.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you, when I first time I took it out, Bill, a couple times, I literally said to myself, I made a $900 mistake here.
Yep. Brian, you're talking about the update. I've got 2 Knox 600s. One I run a 6-inch coil, one the stock coil. The one that runs my 6-inch coil is the updated Knox. And it changed my VDIs. It changed some of my tones. I cannot stand the update. But I spoke to MindLab, and if you try to revert back to the old program, it will tell you it works. It doesn't. It's still the new program in your machine. Your VDI is going to be still different, and you'll still have that 4 kilohertz in there. And yeah, your VDIs definitely change, and that's why, to me, I've got 2 Knox 600s, but one is a completely different machine because it's got that update. So yeah, even if you tried to roll it back, you're still going to have the updated version.
Well, Detecting Okanagan on here says he's having a premiere this Saturday at 7 p.m. West Coast time, which I believe is 10 o'clock here for us East Coasters.
Mm.
So Okanagan, I'm writing myself a note. I'm putting it on the computer right now here, buddy, and I will try and be at your premiere Saturday night.
Yeah, I was not happy. I mean, I bought the second Knox already updated, so I didn't do it myself. And took them out side by side, and I did not like the update. I went online and tried to revert it back, and it just wouldn't do it. And I actually got MindLab on the phone, and they said, unfortunately, once that update is on there, you can try to revert back, but it's going to keep that update in there. Like I said, getting that one was literally like trying to learn a whole new machine again. My numbers were changed, my sounds were different, and running the same program. I keep mine in Park 2, 50 tones, multi-frequency, and auto track and ground balance. That's what I started with. That's what I love. And running my other machine, it's like running. It would be like running a 600 and an 800 side by side.
See, I'm with plugs here. I leave my machine in Park 1, and that's just where it's at.
Yeah. And like I said, I've tried the different programs on it, and I keep going back to Park 2 just because I love the tones, and I keep it on 50 tones. I've tried going to the 25 and the 5, and I don't care for it. I love it the way it came out of the box. That's the way I love it, and that's the way I've kept it. And unlike a lot of people, I don't even crank mine all the way up. I run my sensitivity at like 18 to 19, and I've never had a problem with depth or anything, and I very rarely have chatter problem. I think people run wide open.
Dan says you can run 4, 5, 10, and 15 on the 600 signal. And see, I thought that's all you had, Dan. I didn't realize you still had the 20 and the 40, but they were just part of the multi-frequency. As soon as I knew that, and like me and Bill have been talking about, unless you're going to be a gold prospector or you're looking for gold in the water, specifically for teeny nuggets. I mean, we all know that, that damn Knox will find the little tiny piece of a stud earring. It'll just take you forever with the damn pinpointer to find it. So if it can find that, it can find flakes of gold. But unless that's what you're looking for, I don't see any reason for the 600. I would save the money now.
Now we have actually tested my 600 6-inch coil and the stock coil with Picker Gold that a buddy of ours had, and we were actually picking that up. Now it's in a little plastic baggie, and he'd put it about 6 inches under, and it was hit or miss. But in water in his sifting pan, he'd put it under a little bit of water and some sand. It was dinging right over top of it. So it'll find pickers.
Like 2.5 years ago, when I was looking at the Knox, I watched some guys on the beach right at the edge of the water. They dropped a real thin gold necklace in, and guys, they had like 4 different machines there, and it was, they dropped it in like 6 inches of water, and it was a real thin, teeny gold chain. And the new Knox was the only machine that picked that thin gold chain up.
I found a gold chain in one of our soccer fields. I fought that signal, and I came back to it 3 different times and fought trying to, because I would get my little bleeps, and I love the numbers. It was like 4 to 6, and I loved that number for some reason, and I kept trying to find it, couldn't find it, and finally Squeak actually dug it, and it ended up being this long, thin gold chain that wasn't wrapped up at all. It was just laying flat out, and I'm like, man, and actually her Vanquish actually picked up on that.
Well, when I watched those guys, that was one of my deciding factors on pushing me over to get it. But Plugs says I have my machine programmed the way I want it. I don't switch on and off. Plugs me too. I don't want to have to reprogram a machine every time I have it.
Yep.
Well, Bill, we've really been on metal detecting. What do you want to say? Shit, can't think of the word. Just the subject. We've just been strictly on the metal detecting subject tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jenny said it's a tirade.
No, this has been a good conversation.
Down with the legend, down with the Deus 2.
Hey, I'm telling you, I showed that Deus 2 commercial on my stream 2 weeks ago. Some people thought I was going to get jammed from Deus for an unauthorized, and I'm like, if I was showing their commercial somewhere, why would I get upset if I was that company? That was just free advertising.
It's free advertising. Yeah.
I mean, first off, whoever they had to put that commercial together did a freaking tits up job. I'm telling you, that was a great commercial.
I watched that with Detect America with Frank and Steve, and I couldn't get through the first 2 minutes without starting to laugh. And after like 2.5 minutes, man, I had to get a drink. I mean,
but still, when they were showing that guy at the underwater with that wireless machine underwater up to 200 feet, that's just freaking incredible.
Yeah. And I mean, that was the big thing I had always been told about the Deus was the coil is submersible, but you lose the signal. And
not now.
They figured that out with that Deus too. And that's awesome. I mean, if you do a lot of water detecting, I mean, the Deus, I won't knock it. I've gone out with guys that use it, and I mean, they find some awesome stuff with it. But I'm not a water hunter.
My biggest problem is something like that. I'd forget to charge the coil.
That's the other thing is charging the box and the coil.
You know who did that, Bill? What's his name? Detecting New York. Merrill went to go out one day and use his Deus, and he got out there and he forgot to charge the coil.
That would be me, because I wouldn't think about it the first couple of times.
Well, he has done that. He's done that with his 800. He's pulled his 800 out and got out there, and it's got like one bar blinking because he's forgot. See, here's what I do, guys. And Denise's kitchen, I have installed one of the regular plugs. It's got the 2 USB plugs in the middle of it. Very easy to install in your house. And that's our little charging corner. So when I come home at night before she goes to bed or after she goes to bed, I plug my machine in there so she's not in the way of it. And by the time you wake up in the morning, it's good to go. I always plug mine in at the end of the hunt. So I know it's charged. If I go out unexpectedly, I don't have to worry about it being charged.
I plug mine right there on that shelf and just set them up against the shelf, plug them both in right there. And I mean, even if we get out somewhere or heading out somewhere and I've forgotten to plug them in, I plug them in the truck. And, I mean, all of our permissions are about an hour or so away. So, I mean,
Bill, my truck's so
Hey,
old, I
Rob,
don't have a USB in there.
Rob, I'd lean it up against the wall and plug in the head unit and still forget about the coil and walk on.
Yeah. That was my biggest downfall with going to Equinox was all of the technology. I mean, I literally almost wrapped mine around a tree the first couple times I took it out.
I wasn't quite that frustrated, but I was frustrated to where I'd put it back in the truck and pull the 705 out. And now what's funny though, Bill, is I've been using the Knox for 2.5 years now. And after I had to go in the shop, I had to pull the 705 out, put some new batteries in it. And I got to my first place and I was like, man, I don't know how the hell to run this machine anymore. I literally had to pull the instruction book out for the 705 and refresh myself.
A buddy of mine we went out with him and he's got an AT Pro. And in fact, it was Swifty. And he was like, hey, when's the last time you picked up an AT Pro? I said, man, it's been like 1.5 years. He goes, well, why don't you try it? And when I ran the Pro full time, I would say I had almost mastered that machine. I mean, I'd used it 5, 6, 7 days a week, several hours at a time. I mean, I'd really had devoted a lot of time to that machine. I picked his up and turned it on. I couldn't remember how to ground balance. I couldn't remember how to do a damn thing with that machine.
Somebody had a question here. Somebody said about gold or silver being easy to find.
Silver is
Quotes for days.
Equinox.
Yeah, 10 minutes ago he wrote, am I right or wrong? Silver is the easiest thing to find if it's in the ground. People finding silver don't really impress me. Well, I understand what you're saying. It's 10 times harder for us here in Florida to find an Indian than it is silver. I bet Dalton and I and Troy get 10 to 20 silvers for every Indian we find. And I will tell you, for some reason, my 705 loved quarters. It just loved quarter machines. My 800 loves dime machines. And obviously dimes is the most prolific silver coin you find. So, yeah, I don't know of any Knox person that's not happy with their coins finding silver.
My Knox is dead on with coppers. And I love that, especially the old coppers, the old large sands, Indians. I mean, I haven't had a problem pulling one out yet. And I mean, to be honest, I love finding coppers much more than I like finding a lot of the silvers. I mean, I'd love an Indian head over a mercury dime any day.
Well, because down here they're a lot harder to find than a mercury. And I had this conversation with the channel. There's a subscriber on my channel called Crazy About Mercury, and they're like, you can tell obviously how much I like mercuries, and I really want to find a mercury dime. And they asked me if I could start giving some away in my giveaways, and I said, I've been giving mercuries away in my last 10 giveaways. I said, but I'm out of them now. And it's funny, we all wonder how come mercuries, so many more mercury dimes are found than rosies, when mercuries are 15 years older than rosies.
And they were worth a lot more.
Well,
at the time.
They made mercury dimes for 39 years that are silver. They only made silver rosies for 13 years before they became clad. So there is going to be statistically, for 39 years of making a coin over 16 years, there is going to be statistically a shitload more of mercuries on the ground than rosies.
Yeah, but Rob, back in my hometown in California, I never found a mercury. Lots of silver rosies, but never found silver merc. Never found a merc.
Wow, that's what Deej had said too. When I hunted with Deej in Orlando 2 years ago, and I found 2 mercuries with her, she's like, Rob, that's my white whale coin. I just can't find a mercury dime to save my life. And that's funny because here in Florida, 3/4 of the dimes we find are mercuries.
Right. We found quite a few of those.
It goes along with location, and I played lottery. So I watched this guy called Kep. He's out of Southern California, and he was upset today because he bought one that supposed to be a winner every 3rd ticket. So he'd done like 7 tickets and no winners. He goes, I'm going to write to him. So I typed in and go, okay, yeah, 1 out of 3 may be a winner, but it doesn't mean they're spread out evenly between all the books that they sell. So
that's right.
when they when dimes and quarters and all that change goes to the banks to be put out, who knows where it all went? I mean, that's like Carson. Bill was saying earlier, he found a Carson City Mint coin. All the years I did metal detecting in California, less than 100 miles away from the Carson City Mint, I never found, and I never knew anybody that found a Carson City Mint coin.
That's I would say with coinage to go, finding a Carson City Mint coin would be one of my top 2 bucket listers.
Mine is the Orleans Mint. I grew up there, and I have yet to find a coin with New Orleans Mint.
I've got 3, Bill, and I was excited to have all 3 of them.
I have yet to find one. I see people in the videos pulling up O Mint marks all the time, and I'm like, oh man, I've got a Carson City. I found a Carson City, and at the time I found it, I didn't know what the heck Carson City was. I'd heard people talk about it, but and then I'm like, man, I'd really love to find a New Orleans Mint. I'm from there. Well, why don't I have any on our boards up here?
Wow, Brian says 0 silver rosies and a silver quarter still loads me. I had gotten one George Washington on my first big permission ever when I first started detecting, and then on the same property I found an SLQ that was so wiped I almost didn't know what it was. I've lost it. I cannot find it here at the house, and I've never found a second SLQ. But there was a period I went 15 months between my first George Washington quarter and my second George Washington quarter. And I don't give a shit what anybody wants to tell you. Silver quarters do not grow on trees in the ground.
I'm going to tell you, Squeak's first silver that she found, believe it or not, and I've got the photos of this before we started doing YouTube, she found a Walker. Was her first silver she had ever found.
Well, good for her.
And that blew my mind. I mean, she was in tears, and then my son found, the Mercury, but I got with Sully with both of those and sent them to him and turned them into rings. So both of them have their first silvers as rings now. And I've got mine. I've got a 43 Standing Liberty that I had turned into a ring.
I've got one. But Dan, I've got about 70 silvers this year, Dan, and only 5 of them are George Washington quarters. That's it. And I haven't found. Do what?
My first silver ever was a 64 Kennedy half.
See,
which is
I have 3 Walkers and I have 2 Benjis. I've gotten 5 silver half dollars in 4 years, but I don't have a silver Kennedy yet.
Well, they only made the 90% of that 1 year.
Yeah, I don't have a 90 or a 40. I've gotten
2 years later, they said we're going off the silver market, so everybody hoarded them. And so then a few years later, I find a 72 Kennedy. Oh, that's nothing. Then I found a second 64 silver, and everybody's gone. Still have never found a Franklin half or an SLQ, but I found 2 Kennedys. Maybe it's just because where I was living. I don't know.
How come every peace dollar ever found is in 1922? Both Troy and Dalton found a peace dollar this year, and they're both 1922s.
Let me see what mine is.
More of that year than all the rest of years combined.
Wow, Nathan's been hunting forever, and he says he hasn't found a silver Kennedy. I've gotten 3 Kennedy halves, but they all been clad. Troy even found an Eisenhower dollar this year.
That's okay, Nathan. You made up for it with all the other neat coins you found and relics. So.
What year did you say, Rob?
22.
All right, let me see here. Is this a peace dollar or a Morgan?
I think 21 year is the transition year between Morgan and Peace.
This is a 21.
Yeah, I think that's the year they made both of them.
Yep.
That's the year Tony, Mr. Diggs for Clad is looking for it. There you go.
That's a 21.
Yeah, 22 started the peace dollar. I think it was a transition year though, Bill. Let me check my red book. Tony might be able to tell you, Mr. Diggs.
Yes, it does, Brian. 3 gold rings within 48 days. That's good.
Yeah, I'm right, Bill. 21 they made both Morgans and peace dollars. But they only made 1 million peace dollars in 21. They made 21 million Morgans.
Yeah.
This is one, and I meant to do. This is the 1922. Hey, Rob. That's
Okay,
the 1922.
That's the Morgan.
Right. And that's what always threw me off because, I mean, it was a 21 and then a 22. And they're like, well, you know, you should have a peace dollar. I'm like, yeah, I have a peace dollar, but I've got a Morgan too.
That's the 21 Morgan my club gave me Thursday night for Detectors of the Year.
Oh, wow. Nice.
That and are you ready for this, Bill? I think the other Bill, Papa Rouse, has seen this.
Oh, I watched the video on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I watched the video on that one.
It's a full pound of copper.
I'll show you the one I catch a lot of flack over. I've gotten quite a few people. Apparently, this is like a lot of people's white whale.
Is that a piece of 8?
Yeah, it's 8 real.
That's gorgeous.
And I've had a lot of people. They're like, man, I want to find an 8 real. I want to find an 8 real. And I'm like, you know what, one of these? And they're like, oh, I hate you.
I am Nathan.
Ram, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, Mark.
It's a great honor, but I will, and I tell everybody this, and I'm not being modest when I say this. If Troy had been able to get to the meetings this year without all the health problems somebody in his family had, Troy would have kicked my ass for Detectors of the Year.
Yeah, guys, I think we're gonna shut this down. I'm ready to hit the sack.
Yeah, Bill's yawning. He's going to make me yawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to get up and go to work in the morning.
Now I get to sleep in
Oh,
tomorrow.
so
I have to
do
call
I.
my mechanic and see if my truck's ready tomorrow.
Oh, damn. Well,
All right,
Bill, thank you
fellas.
for doing that.
It's been fun. I appreciate it.
Bill, always a blast.
Rob,
Other Bill,
thank you.
thanks.
We will
All right,
see
guys.
y'all next
Talk
time.
all night,
See you.
whenever you
See you
want
in
it.
Zoom. See you in Zoom tomorrow night, guys.
Yeah, if I'm
Yeah.
awake.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a good one now. See y'all later, everybody.
Everybody have a good night. Thank you all.